And welcome to the episode of Don't Trust the Dungeon Master. My name is Alex K, and I am that Dungeon Master. Welcome to episode 63 of Arkelya, the Arkelya campaign.
Don't trust him.
Alright, you do that every time. Like, every time.
It's a thing now.
Alright, well, hi, thanks for coming in, checking us out whenever you do, be it on YouTube or be it at Twitch. Thank you for your support. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, and I hope the rest of the cast does too. As far as announcements go, well, next Friday we will not be playing, unfortunately. We have two people that are going to be doing other things, and so we're going to just take the night off, so don't tune in next Friday live, but the one after that.
No offense, but I'm really excited about what I'm doing next Friday, so.
And they're allowed to do other activities, so no one from the headquarters here is upset about it.
I'm going to see Taylor Swift.
Only one person seems to be warned about it. So that's that. And then Primerus Paradox should be happening tomorrow. So check us out for that. Other announcements. If it wasn't alerted beforehand, one of our members is asking that we stop sessions a little earlier, so we're trying to cut off so the sessions will be shorter for a period of time here, just in case you're wondering. And that's the major announcements. So hi, hello. Stop it. Get some help. Jeez.
I think I have that one.
The Michael Jordan stop it. Get some help.
Get some help.
Okay. Right. Well then. So here we're all here. We got our lovely cast. We got me, the not so great DM, and we get to re-explore the world of Arkelya. Okay. Well, let's get to it then. So in our last episode of Don't Trust the Dungeon Master, we had our party. You guys had recently went through a really bad ordeal, right? You were stopping by this beautiful inn called Rustic Meadows, and it led to a very long night for all of you. And after that night of surviving through this fiendish plot, three of our members seem to have had a very difficult night sleeping that night. The injuries they had received from these creatures from the hells seemed to make it difficult for them to rest. And so Arkelya, Thoric, and Doma all woke up, recognizing that they did not actually get the benefits of sleeping. Their wounds weren't healing the rate they were supposed to feel, and they just felt fatigued and tired. They just felt worse for wear. And it's concerning. So concerning enough that the party brought their heads together to go, what the hell is going on? And some magic was used to try to corner some possible theories. Doma ground up a diamond and expertly did that and didn't lose any of the diamond dust. Evelyn casted a greater restoration, used her sorceress magics to twin cast it, and did a theory test on two different people, one being Arkelya and one being Doma. And then later on, Baldur got the wits that he should have when he's a player, not being controlled by me, and decided just to cast Remove Curse on everyone, hoping that maybe that would resolve the problem as well. So nonetheless, you guys had attempted to rectify this affliction, but you have no idea if it will succeed until you guys do your next long rest. But you can't just sit around doing nothing. People are dying in the western states, so you have to get out there and go save lives. So off you go. You get on your mounts, and you begin to continue your long, arduous journey towards the west, towards the western states. And so the travel went on. You guys spent about a day moving westward. Unfortunately, Laris had not reviewed his material very accurately, and with the nap I took the day before, I was really discombobulated, and my timeline was super whacked, and I had us bouncing around between landmarks that they shouldn't have been seen at the space, or at a pace they weren't supposed to be seen. And at times, they weren't supposed to be seen, thus leading to probable outcomes that maybe shouldn't have occurred, but did occur. Nonetheless, along your guys' journey, a day of travel occurred. And along this day of travel, the most exciting thing, unusual thing that you all ran into is you ran into a bunch of conservationists. Apparently students from Ellensburg, from one Professor Kanto, who is having his students help him try to educate the citizens of Windheim into taking action to try to help fight for the lives of the other creatures that share Arkelya space with you all. You guys didn't seem terribly interested in the notion of, one, giving donations, or putting your real names down on paper. You guys gave aliases. That's just one person, but the vast majority, hence why I used the terminology I did.
Two.
I'm not... All right, 2 of the 7 players decided to put real information. Everyone else just did not give their full transparency. And you guys decided not to stay around and hang out, to check out the rare Pod 13 and its migratory pattern. And you continue moving west. And it was near the end of night, and so you guys set up camp. So a little bit of a retcon. I had you guys half a day after that. You're a little bit closer. It just physically wouldn't be possible for you guys to move as fast as you were. It really doesn't change anything from the pace of like your perspective, but your characters are a little bit more east than you realize. That's the bulk of the matter. As you guys bunkered down for the evening, and preparing to finally let sleep claim you, and hopefully for those of you that were still suffering from your injuries from the fiendish overlords of the hells, you had Lumi decide to give you all a protective barrier throughout the night, and he twisted magic to make nature help shield you all, making a very thick fog spell, and also making you guys furniture made out of vines and stuff like that. You guys had a very laxed evening, sitting and using your hammocks made of vegetation. And then eventually you each went to bed, and there was watches that had. And during Roderick's watch, the second watch, he heard squawking and screeching of creatures flying in the sky. And unfortunately, it was really dark out because there's not a large amount of moonlight in the night right now, because there's not much moon in the night right now, as that was fixed recently too. Instead, though, because of the darkness, there was a sudden explosion as a massive manta-like creature impacted the ground, and a pack of Werven had descended and started killing the creature. This, of course, alarmed the group, who didn't know exactly how they should respond, and afraid that these creatures would turn on them or their horses, you all decided to fight these things, which, of course, pissed off the pack of Werven, who attempted to attack you back. And so a confrontation ensues, and you guys murder these things mercilessly. We have Evelyn do a chain lightning that fucking did 150 damage of one cast. We got fucking Baldrick's Rocks of Doom being used. Akal did some flips, nothing really too amazing for him. Thor got his ass handed to him. And went unconscious in the very last moment. But he did get it.
Thank you.
He did manage to do a couple crits, so he did do a good couple whacks, but he was ultimately the biggest victim. And Doma, he almost went down, but he managed to persevere. So, at this moment, you guys are beating the Wervens as we speak, right? So, within the first few seconds of the game beginning, you guys have just dispatched these Werven, where we had to cut the session short real quickly because we had to pull out to let people get to their own rest of their nights. So we're picking up back there, where I guess we're going to change this to that.
Shit, music. Yes.
So
Important part.
At this point, as the adrenaline starts draining out of you, and you check to see if there's any new threats. You know there's still that horde of Werven in the sky, about half a dozen or so still skyward. But when you guys killed the Patriarch and the last adult Werven that was on the ground, it seemed to have given enough pause to these creatures that are not suicidal. They recognize that you guys are far more dangerous than their pack can handle. And they apparently respected the space. And so the few adults that are left in that pack and the babies that managed to flee fly away in that moonlight and get into darkness and envelop and shroud themselves away from you. And it's at this point, as you guys are kind of like letting yourselves kind of get a little bit more relaxed and lull, there's the realization that Thorak isn't moving. He's just on the ground, bleeding out. Thorak, I need you to make a death saving throw.
Alright. He called ice, don't fail me.
Oh shit!
One failure for Thorak right now. So Thorak is on the ground, not moving. The community, the large amount that you are, and I know the tokens are no longer near each other's space, but you guys managed to rush to Thorak's aid to try to rectify the situation as quickly as possible. With the sheer number of you all, this will be no check even necessary. You guys will find a way to stabilize him. And so either Baldrick comes in and uses a medicine kit, or you use land hands. If you want to, you can do such. You guys can let him recover over a cord period of time, but just stabilizing, or you could actually use healative stuff if you want to. Did you
have 5 HP?
Okay, so you give 5 hit points to Thorak. But Thork,
You're
you
very kind.
regain consciousness. There is a pain in your abdomen where the Patriarch Steiner, the biggest Werven, a huge-sized creature, had impaled you in your lower abdomen, which actually lifted you off the ground, and it kind of wrangled you around a little bit, and then you fell off as the creature died, right? With the healing that Doma's given you, it's helped close the most dangerous portions of that injury, but it's still very tender, and there's still this kind of like burning sensation in your veins from the venom of these creatures. Werven poison, Werven venom is incredibly dangerous. It's one of the most powerful venoms in the entire world, and you guys have been luxuriously introduced to it several times throughout this ordeal right now. But you're all alive. You are intact, just hurt and sore. So Thork, as you've been regained consciousness, and you have a bunch of people kind of like peeking around you to make sure you're okay, and they see you breathing again, there's probably a sigh of relief across many of the people's visages as they see that you are in fact fine.
That's fucking horrible. Ah, thanks. He'll try to stand up, but just like his hand will give out and he'll just remain sitting. Hey, Baldric, you got any anti-venom or something for this?
Apparently I'm out of salves. I don't have anything like that. If we could get some thistle wassail, maybe. But, it's a little dark now. He kind of like adjusts his glasses and he looks towards the horizon, and then it's just pitch black around you guys. The only real light you have right now is from his cantrip.
Lumi would fly over to where he was staying and reach into his bag, and he'll be like, potion, anti-venom, please. And he'll pull it out, and he's gonna walk back over to Thorak and offer it to him. I know he's probably not suffering from a poison condition right now, but I'm still gonna give it to him because he asked for one.
Wait, are we burning a resource for this? Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I know he's gonna take it.
So, you would probably have the innate sense in you that you don't need to administer this to yourself right now, but if you want to do it for roleplay reasons, be my guess.
I'm an advocate of this.
The immediate trauma has occurred, and you've survived. The venom would not soothe the damage that's already been done to your veins, right? That's just like an after effect. The venom has been neutralized already by now.
I do have a question.
I'm an advocate.
I have an elixir of health. Is that different than a health potion?
Yes, an elixir of health is different than a health potion. Elixir of health do things like, I kind of forget all the things it does, but it's like it removes a poison, it removes a disease. It kind of hits a spread of like lower restorations, or lesser restorations.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. Okay, all right.
I could
didn't
find it for you to give you the exact verbiage if you give me a moment, just so that we're all on the same
I have
page.
one of those.
I should have given you the full spiel, but...
I don't have it on here, which is weird.
I feel like we got that thing forever.
Apparently, I don't have it in your index. Does anyone have? It's called a.
I put it in chat.
It's in chat.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see. I guess I don't have it in anyone's inventory here. Oh, I typed mystical health. Okay, so apparently
Number 10 on my list.
Apparently on my list, I had Doma was the last one I thought who had it. So it's either on Levelin or it's on Doma, right? But clear lead liquid with tiny bubbles of light in it. When you drink the potion, it cures any disease afflicting you. It removes the blinded, deafened, paralyzed, and poisoned conditions, which are condition specific.
So yeah, lesser restoration. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
So it won't actually heal you. It doesn't restore health. It won't fix the body. It's for status ailments, really. Which most of those are done with lesser restoration. I think the only one that's not on lesser restoration there is the paralyzed condition.
All right. Well, as I was saying before this, I'm an advocate of RP over power game and like shit like that, and I'm sure boxes as well. So even though out of character, I know it won't help. It makes sense to me in character.
All right, hold on a second, I think the venom's already served its course. You drinking that won't make you feel better.
You fucking say that with a wyvern hole in your chest.
Yeah,
it burns like hell.
You need things to help mend the injuries, and it's not the poison that's causing more trauma to you now.
How can you be sure?
I'm a doctor, goddammit!
I insight.
You're really a doctor.
He's
He's
actually
gonna-
failed dropout. And the truth
I've
is
never seen
revealed.
this doctoress.
His incompetence is what's led to his downfall, not Wormsworth.
He's actually a theater student. He pretends to be a doctor.
Alright, Thorax gonna reach up and hand the anti-venom back to Lumi. Doctor's
All right.
orders, huh?
It won't actually help you. Any remaining poison inside your body now is being handled by your body as it is.
His fork just drops onto the ground. He's like proper like snow angel starfish. He just lays there on the ground, not moving.
It's kind of
fucking
a
sucks.
little damp with dew and the temperature drop in the night, so you're kind of actually like having cold water kind of like seeping into your clothes. There's a bunch of stains on your body from the cuts and abrasions you've received.
I'm covered in. Go on.
I was just going to say, too bad we couldn't do something similar for the traveler. And he points off into the distance at that mound of a corpse that dug up Earth when it landed.
Ah, yes, the Scouflet.
Yes. I'm never gonna pronounce that name, so it's
Yeah,
the
it's-
traveler.
A souffle.
It's a cool creature. Whoever made it must be pretty cool.
We're gonna barbecue it.
That's exactly what I was thinking, yes.
What?
No,
God.
It's dead already.
It's cremate sky whale.
it was
Yeah.
killed by the.
How often are you
things.
gonna get to eat the sky whale?
It could be filled with more of that venom.
Should we tell the
I can cure
conservationist
poison.
people?
Nah. Fucking people.
It is just nature. I mean, you
Yeah.
have predators and
But
prey.
that-
It makes
That's
sense.
not from here. That's a traveler from another plane.
I mean, were the creatures from the hells that were trying to kill us? I mean, they're not from here.
But that's also not natural.
You're right. So,
Natural?
You know, what is natural?
What's natural is me wanting some sleep. Ikal, can you go get me a pillow and a blanket or something? Just wanna...
The most
I
annoying
was
thing
gonna
about all
sleep
of
here.
this, actually, is that I will have to recast my hut. And he mumbles off to himself as he goes back to
Well-
where his circle previously was, and he starts spending 10 minutes to cast Lehman's tiny hut again.
At least you can. Look at my hut. It is destroyed in shambles.
Oh no.
Look at my abdomen. Ugh.
Yeah, we need to work on your dodging.
girl.
I can train you some more if you'd like. I'll give you a pat on the shoulder.
He's gonna pick a bit of grass and throw it at you.
I dodge the grass.
It doesn't even it's grass. It barely you're like so far away.
So he uses deflect missiles. He does 1d10.
The blade of grass goes right through your eye and you instantly die.
Oh god, revival! Revival!
Alright. I'm going to go back to sleep in my mess of canvas.
He's gonna reach out to you as if he was like on his dying last breath.
I'll start
Hello.
dragging Thoric.
Blanket? No, not.
He's pulling you by your arm.
No, not the.
Oh,
The
is this
problem is that
bedroom? Okay.
there is a massive amount of Werven corpses in your guys' space now, and if
Right.
you don't move them, I mean, they're not gonna like decompose at such a rate that's gonna be terrible for you to kind of finish your rest, but it is. I mean, you killed 4 adults, which were all large creatures, and you killed the Patriarch, which is a huge creature. And then not too far away from you, like 90 feet away, is the huge corpse of the Squiffet that was unfortunately felled by them, right? And there is one whelp. I forget who killed the one whelp, but there is one whelp that didn't make it. So there's a pile of orphans of varying size just on the ground, tons rolled out, blood splattered on the ground.
Is there any use for these things? Like, can you get money or?
Their venom is
Yeah.
fairly potent. Do you think we could try and milk it or something?
We can get the poison. Yeah. And then Clark is gonna like get lively again and
So-
start pulling up
Oh,
and
There,
getting
money.
out.
there is things to note. The poison, almost everyone was like, each of the Wervins almost all landed their tail attacks at some point, so there's not going to be a lot of poison left. You would know that by default, right? It takes time for it to make more poisons chemically, right? So you could attempt it, but you're also going to prolong your rest. You recognize this would, if you try to start doing things like that right now, you'll have to do a whole new long rest from scratch, right? It's not.
Will
it's
it
not,
go
it's
bad
not-
in the morning?
It could, yeah, I suppose. That's a time budget thing. If you
He's
interrupt,
just robbing us of wyvern poison. No.
I told you, you've already been stunned. They pretty much have all discharged their poison, so there's not a lot left in the first place. You would know. A bunch of it went into you, so.
Can I
How bad
milk
is
my
it
own?
called, Kent? Is it like shredded?
Ah, yes. So Call just assumed it was terrible, but Evelyn, she's poking around and she's looking.
I'm just
Evelyn,
poking around, seeing if I get help.
yeah, can you make an intelligence check or an investigation roll, whatever one you want? Technically, investigation should be better. So, how terrible was the deed of a creature just stampeding through it?
My cabbages.
My teeth is destroyed.
You said what one? Intelligence or
Investigation or
investigation?
intelligence, which they're both intelligence-based. Investigation should be better because you could have proficiencies.
They're the same for me.
Right.
So it'd be 17.
Pretty good. This is salvageable. With your mending cantrip, you could.
I have mending, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
You could repair it. It will take some time. He wouldn't be able to use it tonight. It unlike the previous encounter with the Ipton, this tent was an unfortunate casualty because Lumi had decided to fly in the same space as that, and the creature just happened to run into it and broke like one of the poles, which caused it to collapse. This is repairable.
Okay, so I'll work on that while they do whatever they're doing.
Meanwhile, Call just thinks that that's another tent in the ground.
He's like got the canvas and he's like twirled up inside of it.
I can
is
fix
it.
this. I can fix this. Don't worry. It's okay.
No, yeah, I appreciate it, Evelyn, but
It's salvageable. Trust me.
I do not believe the gods wish me to sleep hidden from the stars now. I must see them.
But we're gonna stay here.
Oh boy.
Can we move?
Oh boy.
Oh,
Can
are
we
we
move a
sleeping
little-
here? Or,
I mean, can we move like a few hundred, maybe like 20, 30 feet away from all this?
why?
I don't think we can. Can we?
You technically could move. It's just there's a couple downsides. One, Lumi's Grove will not be able to migrate with you. That was a 6th level spell he used to do that, and that's stuck in that spot. So if you still want that protection, which honestly, that's what made that fight victorable for you guys.
That's what saved us. Yeah.
As well as the damage you guys did a really good job. The amount of marshals that did not get to recover from the hell fight really put you guys at a disadvantage.
Hell yeah, dude.
And then also not having your armor again on 2 of your characters also really fucking sucked. But that disadvantage and advantage really helped you guys out a lot.
I'm comfortable where I am at. Does everyone else want to move though?
I'm not moving again, as he says, as he's still in the same circle trying to finish. If you want the
All
tiny
right.
hut, you better get over here, by the way, before it completes.
I'll hurry
Yes,
over.
yes,
to
yes.
the
She, like, picks up her dress and shit.
Everyone starts moving
All right,
in an
so
instant.
for those of you that care about the tiny hut, you rush over to Baldrick's aid and spend 5 minutes with him, muttering himself, and whatever idle conversation. As time goes on, you guys get more and more fatigued, right? Like you were woken up in the middle of the night, all this noise and crap happening, and yeah, bed sounds good. And so eventually, tiny hut succeeds, and sleep is resumes, and watches are resumed. So Roderick has to sigh as he's up alone, by himself, like another 30 minutes before finally he can wake up the next person, who I think was a call on 3rd shift. But fortunately, nothing else really happens over this night. You guys go through the hours, and I think we'll have Lumi. I think it was the 4th watch. So Lumi, as you are kind of the only one awake. Well, actually, you wouldn't be the only one awake. Evelyn would be awake. Well, technically, could be awake. She could be meditating, but she has the option to be up. Would you like to be up, Evelyn, or would you like to keep sleeping in?
Sure. I'll get up.
Okay,
I'll
so
meditate.
partway through your watch, Lumi, Evelyn would have exited her meditation, accomplishing the long rest for herself. So your stuff has been restored already now to Evelyn. Lumi is up. I know that maybe I'm depriving you guys of some roleplay opportunities.
Just the one thing I would do that's maybe important is I would have casted plant growth around the corpse of that creature. I would have expended a 3rd level spell to make the grass grow high around it.
Okay. Which
So-
is that's like the terrain one, right? Right, that one lasts for like 8 hours, or it's like permanent almost, right? And
Yeah, it just lasts.
it increases, so you can't like really you can encourage growth in a space, right? Okay. All right, so you help start the cycle of decomposing the corpse of the Scuffe, the creature not very familiar with, but you're leaving the Wyvern to function on their normal process. If Evelyn wants to take this opportunity to interact with Lumi, or vice versa, you're free to do such, or we can move on to Morning actually hitting everyone.
How are you doing, Lumi?
I'm doing fine, I suppose. I'm nervous.
Yeah. Well, it's been a crazy couple days with us, so.
I meant to ask, is this normal for you, for Heartseeker?
Unfortunately, a little bit, yeah.
To fight every day on the road and to deal with devils and wyverns.
Well, the Devils was the first time. That was definitely different. But I don't know. I guess we just carry on. We just keep going. You know, we gotta help people.
Noble but scary. Was.
Yeah. I'm nervous about the Western states, to be honest. If that's what we think it is, I don't know.
Do you mean, like the West states are doing something?
Depends on what's causing it, right? What kind of creature is causing it? If it's a creature causing it. I don't like there's so many unknowns, I guess. But we'll figure it out. Hopefully. We normally do. You're surrounded by a good group of people, and I think that we can help you, so.
Glad thing scary. I was trying to refrain from using my tree's power. I'm not even sure if it will return to me the day after.
What do you mean?
He holds up his staff a bit, which is, as described, this sort of pale blue bark with a bunch of carvings through it that have this sort of glow that look like constellations up in the sky. As I've said, my grove is gone, and this is the last fragment of the tree that I have. I'm worried that without its source of, that one day it'll spark out, and maybe take my power with it.
Beautiful.
I would have loved the whole thing. During the windy nights, when it would blow, the leaves would fall, and the way they would glow in the light would look like shooting stars.
Beautiful. Hopefully we can help.
It's here that you both start squinting as the sun has crested over the horizon and above the tree line enough that you actually can start seeing the sphere in the sky. And it just happens to have a ray precariously hit your guys' eyes. And you recognize that the long rest has technically been accomplished. But you could give everyone a little bit longer if you want, or if you need it yourself, but you could start waking them all up.
Finally being in the light. I don't have dark vision, by the way. I'm terrible during all this, but I look down and just see all that blood from an adult wyvern stinger hitting my little body. I got fucking fucked up, lost half my health in one attack.
We'll have to remind you that the way the DMG arguments damage, it's not quite, even though you get hit for half your health, it shouldn't be like half of your fucking body was rended asunder. If you want to roleplay it, you're free to do such, but I'm not going to force such stipulations on you.
I'm a bit more bloody than I expected. Did we ever pass a stream or something?
You have. There's been creeks.
Yeah? I think
The map might not show a large abundance of like natural waterways, but there's far more. There's even rivers that aren't listed. Those are just the main ones. I'm not going to spend my entire life making a picture-perfect world.
there'll be places to shower, bathe, whatever we gotta do.
Yeah, you've passed by streamlets, you've refreshed water, you've let your horses drink, right, and eat. So, just not screen time worthy.
Lumi grabs his necklace, which is a weird sort of rock with a swirl pattern on it, and he just pokes it. You're supposed to keep me safe. I've been hit very hard recently.
Here where you're starting to hear all
wake
those
up Bradford.
birds starting to go crazy, right? In the morning, like they always do, chirping like crazy. And those of you that aren't even asking for the alarm wake up, you're starting to, especially the more perceptive ones of you, you're hearing it. So call, your ears are like twinging, and you're like hearing all this nature around you starting to wake up. Roger too, Clark as well.
He's like birds.
Yeah, it's like one of those stupid birds like outside your window, right? But you're out there, but it's like right in your window, just like squawking like
ear.
annoyingly loud. And you want to throw a shoe at it, but no, there's a glass pane between you and the damn bird. So
As long as there's no
This
woodpeckers
is the
in
great
this
thing about
world.
low perception.
yeah, it's almost the only one who's just still.
A tan canvas rises out of the camp as it begins to stalk the earth.
Tanned canvas.
How do I feel this morning, DM? Do
Well,
I feel like I
Yeah,
rested?
so for my martial classes, the three of you that exist and all of you got hit, you all actually have regained the benefits of long rest.
Oh, thank God.
A call. You also recognize that you have attuned to something that you've been holding on your possession, that you've spent time with that we haven't really necessary, but you have been attuned to something too now.
Do I die?
No, you're just now attuned to it. You now can use the item.
Do
How
I
bad
feel
is it?
do I feel a burning sensation in my chest? I have heartburn.
All right, so as you guys kind of get around camp, what would you like to do?
Hopefully we get a full night's rest without interruption at some point soon. Whew. Everybody feeling all right?
I was about to ask, is the orc still alive?
Oh, fantastic for once.
It was a sleepover by me.
Mm-hmm.
How you doing?
Sounds like he's alive.
I'm fine. I love birds. He lifts his hand up, ready to not Eldritch Blast, Chromatic Orb one of them. He contemplates it very hard, but just lets his hand drop and reluctantly gets out of bed and starts putting his armor on.
You know, at some point, I feel like it's becoming necessary to keep armor on while sleeping.
That sounds like a great way to rest. Why don't you do it? You never wear any armor.
Technically,
Uh-huh.
I have light armor on.
Yeah, a little too light. Get some plate on your chest. Some metal. Something that'll actually stop attacks.
Fine, let me try that. He'll take his studded armor off and throw it to the side. Give it to me. Give it to me.
This is way too big for you.
It's fine.
How tall is Podrick?
He's definitely shorter than you.
Oh.
A
He's like-
7-foot giant
Yeah.
you are, apparently.
He's like 5'7".
Alright, fine. I'll have him lay
Screw it.
pieces of his chainmail, and he's like, what? Half orc, buff, tall, 7-foot chainmail. Just gets plonked in your hands.
All right. Project start trying to put it on. Yes.
Evelyn's gonna go and spend some time on the tent and mend it a little bit more. And
Sure. Yeah.
whatnot.
Honestly, I would have let you have that over the long rest because there's enough downtime, especially.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
But sure, you spend a little bit more time now as everyone's kind of preparing themselves,
finished.
and getting
Yep.
food, whatever it happens to be, getting the engines primed and ready for another day of travel, which is exhausting, right? You guys have been doing it enough, but even then, it's still exhausting to be on a horse for fucking the whole day, right? So, nonetheless, so. During this, you feel that the tent has the base portions that were damaged are the structure integrity, that this is salvaged now and can still be utilized if Iqal would like to keep it or you want to present it to him.
oh, look it. I did a thing. And I show him the tent. See?
It is fixed.
Yes.
This is good.
Uh-huh. Don't give up yet. Don't give up yet on your
Why'd
dream.
you like this gif of this cat?
That's him rising out of the canvas. I will make good use of this. I will repackage it. I still have it in my bag, and good. It is well. I know we have the fancy magics now to be able to do these things, but is sometimes being able to get under the cover of a tent might be nice for individuals.
Good to have. For sure.
Well, thank you, Evelyn. Right, is everyone ready to go?
There's more
Oh.
straps for this.
Oh. So, what do you need straps for?
To keep this on a little tighter. It's not.
Oh,
Fitting
why are you
correctly.
wearing that?
Oh, you're talking
looks
about the fancy suit?
What are you doing?
Oh no! Talk about the Thorax armor.
Why are you trying to wear Thorax armor?
What do they say? Walk a mile in their shoe or some shit like that.
Thork let you put on his armor? He's not trying to stop
Yes.
you? Why I missed this?
We talked about it.
I told you
Handed
this.
him his
Oh,
armor.
geez.
Yeah.
Sorry, I must have been in
That's
DMs.
happening.
But yeah, Roderick approached Thorak and was like, "You should start sleeping in armor." And then Thorak says,
You try.
You're saying more as a general thing is allowed, but yeah.
So one thing that you do learn is that he's wearing heavy armor, and since you don't have proficiency with it, you recognize that you would not be able to cast magic while you wear it. In fact, so it would be detrimental to you to try to wear an armor type you do not have the means to proficiency with.
"We should definitely get you one set your size when we get to town. Looks good on you."
Just
Oh,
don't
that's
wear
what
the
thanks.
you
armor.
made that comment about the size. Okay, yes.
Yeah,
It dawns on
thanks,
me.
but I don't think I'd be useful in a fight with this, unfortunately, or any.
What? You
Yeah,
can
that's kinda
take
weird.
so many hits with that.
Good
Look,
thing
just
we're
arrows just
definitely not
blown
getting in a
off.
fight today, right?
I could just teach you some
I
fancy
mean, without
foot-
trend.
You could do some fancy footwork like me. You don't need to wear armor. See, look at me.
That sounds like a
that's-
plan. Yeah, I'll try that.
Yeah.
Here, let me
That's
try to
nonsense.
get this off.
I think
What
we all
do you-
need some
15
training from
minutes
Iqal. For
No,
sure.
what-
I will teach all of you in traveling.
That's
Don't
nonsense.
like
It takes skill and time. Just put a plate on your chest and forget about it.
You know, why would
Well,
you
it
need
works for
armor if you could
some.
just defend yourself with magic? That's the easy answer.
Who said that?
Ooh.
You know I'm
Oh.
here, even though you can't see me.
Is that you flying thing? Where are you?
You
No,
forgot
that
my
must be-
name. I'm going to. And then
It's
there's just
Sad.
a leaf slowly floating in the air above his head, and it drops, but it just falls and doesn't even land on you.
You're above my head right now, aren't you?
No.
Anymore.
Oh, did we ever?
No, I did not remember.
Cool.
Forget your name, Chris. Is joke. I'm not
Ooh.
funny.
Krista hasn't met Looney yet officially.
Yeah,
probably,
that's-
huh?
Yeah, I've seen him.
Krista, Lumi, Krista.
What am I
Are you
looking
gonna?
at?
You're seeing there's an
Nothing.
invisible voice talking to you.
You're invisible.
I I think I'm gonna stay hidden for now. But hi, I'm here. I'm a friend of Roderick's.
Okay. No, he's like thinking about offering a handshake, but he doesn't even know where to reach. He's looking up to where the voice is coming because it's above his head, right?
Yeah,
that's where it currently
sounds like
was.
it's kind of like drifting around in circles, maybe 20 or so, like 10, 15 feet in the air, basically. Close by, but kind of moving.
Okay, and this is a normal person.
It sounds like a girl. The voice is
This
not.
is a normal person in Heartseeker.
Absolutely.
I'm a bona fide member.
I just didn't
Since
meet
day
them
one.
until now.
Yeah, she likes to keep hidden.
Are they?
What was that again?
What are they?
What are they?
A person?
They are an invisible person. That is-
Exactly.
Yes.
Yep. I'll show myself if I feel the need. Or Roderick
Okay.
tells me to, but he doesn't do that. He would never betray my trust.
Okay. All right. Well then, hello.
It would be polite to introduce yourself properly, Krista, but we can't make you, so.
I did.
Did you?
You didn't. You didn't really.
Okay, I'm over here. Then there's like a blur, but by the time you look, there's already gone. But it looked like it was about a 6 to 8 inch, 6 to 8 inch tall creature momentarily on the shoulder of Roderick. You didn't know where to look, and then suddenly it disappeared. And with your innate knowledge, it's probably a Fey entity.
Ugh.
Chris is gonna
Agreed.
Probably one of the two.
Ixie. Ugh. All right then. Well, I'm good to meet you. I assume you've seen everything that we've gone through.
Most of it. There's a lot of stuff I gotta do these days. So, it's gotta be there,
I
gotta do
didn't-
that, gotta do this, gotta live that.
I apologize I didn't let you into the cloud around us.
Oh, you accidentally did. Interestingly enough. Because sometimes when you give it to Roderick, it also gives it to me. It's kind of cool.
Oh, didn't realize that happened like that all the time.
Lumi is blinking. All right.
It's kind
Anyways,
of
we're done here.
It narrows it
I-
down
I-
a little bit for you. Like, so there probably is like a contract or a bond or they're a familiar. It's kind of like there's probably some kind of arcane relationship that has given them a little bit of an extra space like that.
All right.
Like you could technically
good to know.
force it and revoke it if you really wanted to, but you could see yourself like in an accidentally allowing an extra permission like that.
We're done here, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we can make breakfast.
Oh, there is something I want to do. Ikal's gonna go try and like take one of the like large fangs out from the huge dragon. He's gonna try to like chip off the like one of its teeth.
Okay.
Just like a souvenir.
Yeah, I mean, sure, you can collect the tooth.
So he just like
Varying
kind of
size, I
walks
don't-
forward,
Yeah.
wiggles it out, pulls it out, and
Sure.
stashes it.
You have a Fane of a Werven.
That was a big monster we just took down. It's good to keep track and memorize what you have done.
All right.
We saw the conservation people. How far back? Like, did we travel
Yeah, since there's a
past
little bit of
them,
retcon on
or
it.
yeah?
I still want to give you enough space to respect your guys' decision to not interact with them. So it's at least an hour difference, right? It would be inconvenient to head back.
Gotcha.
Regardless if they stay. They probably didn't stay there too, right?
Hmm.
It's probably like a site that something came by and then it left, right? It's a migratory patterns, right? So you guys gathered your things. You eat breakfast. You spend 30 minutes or so to gather yourselves. Roderick unequips the heavy armor, gives it back to Thoric. Thoric equips it. Any prepared spells you guys want to shuffle into different categories. This is the kind of like space you're doing it. Any like, calisthenics or, exercise that you do in the morning to get your monk stuff up and running. That kind of happens, right? And effectively you guys get all your morning chores that you would do typically at the end of your long rest have been accomplished. Of which, daylight's starting to burn. You don't have to go to the Western States. You're free to bounce and go anywhere you want within your field of power.
We're going back to that. We're going back to the 9 hells. We're going
back to the house. We're going straight to endgame, boys.
We're getting
ready. As we're like suddenly Baldur, I lost tuning fork. All right, so anywho, so yeah, you guys get on your horses presumably, and you want to head west. Is that right, or do you want to do something different? You want to shock and drop me, or what's going on here?
We're gonna head north.
I'm just gonna dispel the druid growth, by the way. It's something I can do. It normally lasts 24 hours, but I can dispel it, so all the fog clears and that grass can grow. Also, it reveals to anything outside just a mountain of corpses, of wyvern corpses that we left there.
Yeah, suddenly. But some things have still found their way to it. Certain insects and stuff have, through scent, right? Blocks the visual, but there are things have found their way to these massive sources of food. That's the cycle of life. When something dies, something else eats it. Their loss, its loss is their gain. All right, so as you get on the mounts and start heading off, Lumi, you're just the one question I have to. Do you want to partner up with anyone? And if you are, who you partnering up with?
I'll partner up with someone. Who's a particularly light person on their horse? Who's the least heavy equipment-wise?
Well, Baldric has a bag of holding. Evelyn has a bag of holding. So those two are a little bit extra pro in that regard. I would not think Thoric or Doma would be good avenues, as they are the actual heavier armored individuals. So you probably would want to avoid them. They could. Doma's got a uniquely more powerful mount. He has this elk that's got these Finnish inspirations on it, actually. It's kind of weird looking. It looks like a kind of quasi fiend combined with a giant elk, right? Like the hooves kind of meld off from the bottom into like flames. It almost looks like it runs faster. It's cool looking though. It's an interesting take on a natural animal, but it does look like this weird marriage between the lower planes and nature.
You're telling me right now that the leader of Heartseeker would willingly let me ride on his horse?
The leader of Heartseeker?
The leader of Heartseeker.
Oh, wow.
Sorry.
Suddenly, hold on.
Pardon me, what?
The oldest and wisest member of Heartseeker.
I don't know. He's the -1 wisdom. Probably not the wisest.
What do you mean?
Well...
I'll ride on Evelyn's horse.
I got a +1 in intelligence.
If Evelyn, do you allow Lumi on your horses?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, sure. Yeah. I think the good candidates for you, Call, Baldric, and Evelyn. Call's also good. Call's a monk, and he doesn't carry a lot of extra gear, so he probably is. But rotating between the horses along the journey also is good. So I think people are trying to use the same horse. This is my horse. They kind of been a little bit more possessive of it. But you could help share the load so not one horse eats the weight for a very long period of time. Also, you're only like 50 pounds total, right? So, I mean...
You just ride on the atlas of 4 attacks.
Especially with that bag I have. I'm not carrying very much on me.
Everyone has a bag of holding. They're so common now.
One for everyone.
Okay.
You get a bag of holding. You get a bag of holding.
You get a bag of holding. Lemir's bags of holding. Okay. Well then, so yeah, we are gonna resume our journey here. So, as the amendment implied, and I was actually really confused about this in the last session. I don't know if you guys caught that. I was like, wait, we shouldn't be here. We shouldn't be here. So technically, today is when we're really gonna be supposed to be hitting the rolling hills of Fairfield. Is what's supposed to be happening. So at the end of day 2. You guys start traveling, and for about 4 hours, so almost half of your day of travel, you're still in the kind of range of the Covia Ron, and it starts nearing the end of those 4 hours. It starts becoming these light rolling hills that are not terribly tall, but you're recognizing there's a topography change. And then as you go another hour into that, when you actually do get the half day mark, you are officially in big rolling hills. And these rolling hills are covered in not just grasses, but there's also large agriculture, tons of agriculture of a green plant in abundance, tons of it. For those of you that are familiar with the Windheim and even maybe the Western States, and then more so the commerce of it, so I think I'm looking more towards Roderick and Evelyn probably in this. Evelyn through her political knowledge, and Roderick because he's from this region, has to travel at least to this direction once. You guys would know what this plant is in abundance. It's wheat. And since we're not at fall yet, the wheat hasn't gone that golden hue. It's currently still kind of green. And so that's one of the main trades of Fairfield is its wheat/flour and milling productions. And as that notion comes to mind, you guys start seeing on the hills little white blobs. These little rectangular blobs. They look squat at first, but as you guys get closer, some of them are near the road and some of them are far away on different hills. Some are in clusters of 3 to 4 to 5. Some are solo. As you get close to them, you see in better resolution, there's these massive sails, some made of pure wood, some made of fabric, and they rotate and they make noise and creak. And there's these large windmills, tons of windmills collecting wind energy that comes through the southeast, coming through here, and channeling that energy onto stones that grind the huge amount of wheat that Fairfield produces. It's its main export into the rest of the western states and or into Windheim and beyond is the wheat production here in Fairfield. It's its main categorized trade. And these windmills are kind of more like those Dutch kind of windmills. They're bright white with a few beautiful slash of white paint put on top of it. They're kind of squat in shape with these curves rather than these like hard edges. They think like kind of like almost shaped the masonry on these structures to make them more smooth and blob and almost kind of look like clouds from a distance at first. But as you got closer to these marshmallow men, you recognize them to be structures that would then be making noise and crushing the wheat. And they are being used now, crushing something or just making noise, whatever it happens to be, they're there. You do see farmers and people utilizing these structures, with coming in with wagons full of a variety of organic products. And you do see wagons being used with a variety of different farming type agriculture-based stuff. For example, one wagon that goes by that's actually on the highway for a bit, just seemingly looking like a bunch of farmers, maybe 3 to 4 farmers in their wagon. It's being drawn by 2 very big oxen actually. You would see that there are replacement stone wheels that are going to be dropped on top of some of these wheels to change one in and take one out, right? You see amongst the wagons that go by, there's produce being moved from one place to the other. There's lots of tools. There's people that they're just using wagons to migrate. And all these people kind of look like people that you would expect in this region. They don't look like they're travelers like you or people from somewhere else. It looks like this is where they live and they're using this road as a means of convenience to get through this space pretty quickly. They're all dirty, caked with like mud and patch. They got like, clothing that's kind of torn and not as civilized or clean as the inner city happens to be. They look like rural folk. At one point you see a group of like 5 of them kind of all like digging in a ditch, right? There's one guy who's kind of like leaning on a shovel. He looks like he's in his like later elder years, like probably like early 50s, right? And he's got quite a belly on him, and he probably looks like he's more like supervising. He's like the grandpa that doesn't really do work, but bosses people around, and that's helping. So he's like overseeing. There's a bunch of younger guys kind of like hacking at ground, and it looks like they're making a trench, but upon better understanding, that's not a trench. They're making a canal. They're expanding a waterway to produce more and more farmland, right? Society is intertwining itself into the hills of Fairfield, and this is just one of the many canals that helps support this massive amount of agriculture that's done here. On top of the huge amount of green wheat fields that are arranged in this beautiful, clear day with a couple white blobs of clouds in the skies, you see on the hills, there's also another unusual peculiarity. There is a bunch of like brown and black dots. More brown than black, but a couple of them are black. And some are congealed together, some of them are like separated. There's little blobs of them, colonies, herds, whatever you want to call them. But moving through, just like if you've seen with the windmills of this long time-lapse period of time, you would start recognizing that these are horses, which is the other main commodity of Fairfield. Fairfield prides itself on two main commerce. Of course, it does other commerce as well, but the two main Fairfield things, the brand Fairfield of why you'd like, if I'm thinking of a product, Fairfield's the place. They're equestrians and they are wheat and flour producers. They have the best horses in the entire land. Fairfield's only been around for about 1,600 years, and previously it was Kirk, which was the main horse slash, what do you call it? Oh, geez, the term for...
Cavalry?
Yeah, not cavalry, but for like livestock. Livery? Is that what it is? Livery?
Livery.
Yeah. But animal culturing, Kirk has always been the long-standing...
Husbandry.
Yeah. So in that regard, Kirk was normally the main progenitor, but when Fairfield had came in, they for some reason put a very hard striking iron onto getting the horse trade even better than what Kirk had, and Kirk's fallen off the radar on that. They still produce good horses. There's a rivalry between the two, but Kirk has moved more into just standard husbandry now, or of breeding the animals and just making really good meats and leathers and things like that out of the animals in Kirk's region. Their mounts specifically aren't quite as good as Fairfield, and it seems that they're, I guess, accepting that for now, but trying to find a new solution to beat whatever the breeding styles that Fairfield has that's produced these great horses that exist now. The horses that you guys are riding right now are probably Fairfield horses, is what it happens to be. These are really good horses that you have. They probably weren't cheap to get, and they probably come from this region. And so there are tons of horses out on the hills. Some of them are just free roaming colonies that are open range. A couple of them are in a little bit more fenced areas. It's hard to tell which ones are the high quality ones and which ones are not the high quality ones, but there's a large variety of them. There are farmers trying to tend to these animals in some places, and some of them are just out there watching you walk by, or rather ride by on the highway, right? And some of these farms are close and some of these farms are far away, and some of them don't even have farms nearby. They're just open grassland of like free roaming Mustangs almost, it looks like, right? But you see a large amount of horses on the road, or not on the road, but while on the road, you see them out in the hills, right? And so just mixture in your mind as you guys are going through this white highway, right? It's like 10 feet off of the surface level of the soil, right? With all this like stone that's kind of clicking and clopping with your horses. Just imagine a beautiful blue day, a sky, and all this like green around you, and there's farmland and horses out there. It's just beautiful, right? It's a beautiful little rustic trip as you move through the area. As you guys hit that halfway through your day mark, you notice something on the road itself, some sort of congregation of people ahead of you, right? You know for a fact you're in Fairfield's region now, right? You're out of the Eastern Windheim, and you are officially in a Western state. And maybe this is a sign of the influence of the power that happens to be in Fairfield, because you see that there appear to be some riders on the road. They are currently about a half a dozen of them, and they seem to be wearing heavier armor, and it looks like there's some green undertones intermixed below the metal plates or chainmail that these individuals have. And these riders are kind of in a variety of different stances. Some of them look like they're alert and ready. Two of them appear to be talking with a couple people in front of them. And the other like half are kind of like almost paying attention to your lot as you're getting closer, right? You're like 90 or so feet away now as you start getting that kind of visibility to see the details on these individuals. You saw them away at first, but as you got closer, you're getting better resolution. And it appears that there's about 5 people footbound in front of them on the highway itself. And these people look like they're wearing gear and equipment that's familiar to you guys. In fact, you can see the blue band strip across the bicep of several of them. All 5 of them must be people's band that are patrolling the highway. While patrols are significantly lower in density now that their whole war effort occurred, there still is some money that's put into trying to make the road and highway still safe. And it looks like there's an interaction or an altercation maybe between the knights of the Fairfield and the people's band present through it. And as you get nearer to them, you can start overhearing some conversation. So I'm going to read some of it here. I wrote this in advance, but so I'll read a summary of description. In front of you all is a small collection of people on the highway. There are 6 people on mounts and 5 people in front of them talking. It seems 4 of the riders aren't active in the conversation, rather keeping their eyes out. The pedestrians are wearing chainmail, with each having their familiar blue stripe across their biceps, signifying the People's Band. The People's Band is the main defense and enforcement of Windheim, patrolling the Alabaster Highway, protecting the dozens of unlisted villages and towns in the country, and even being a force utilized in certain cities. While being the highest volume of guards, they are the introductory point for those that are interested in law enforcement. Their equipment is standardized and spread thin, as are their numbers. You have seen their presence throughout your journey, but you are aware that there does appear to be far less of them lately. Especially if you compared it to prior to the war with the East. But that is the times you live in at the moment. Of the 6 riders, half of them are wearing plate, and half of them are wearing chainmail. The 3 wearing chainmail have padded armor covering portions of their horses. Unlike the blues used in East Windheim, these individuals are accented with dark greens and golds. Each rider is equipped with a lance, a lawn spear, or a polearm-like weapon. You can see on their hips rests a melee weapon in the event they are dismounted or lose their longer reach, such as a lawn sword or a maul. There's also crossbows or bows and arrows present on the individuals, and you're free to intermix whichever range weapon you want on whom. Let's see. So you see a coat of arms on the 6 riders, each one sharing the same coat of arms. A square-like background in the silhouette of a shield colored in forest green. Along the inner frame is a gold foil trim, and in the center of that is the profile of an elk head, which is also in gold. These individuals are part of the Iron Hoof Knights, the chivalrous order devoted to the Lord of Fairfield, Loris Lemus Rahem. Of the 3 riders wearing plate, 2 have their horses armored with padding and some sort of chainmail. All 3 of them wear helmets, the same splashes of green and gold along their apparel. One of the 2 turns his attention out of the conversation towards your approaching band, while the other 2 continue speaking with the People's Band guardsmen in front of them. The final rider is clearly of a more unique status. Their armor has more accents, more fillery. For starters, the mount they ride is significantly larger than any of the others present. In fact, the creature is of a different species, being similar to that of Doma's origin, a giant elk. Fairfield is known for putting its pride into its riders and steeds. Horses are generally the easiest to breed and cultivate, but more exotic animals are also used, though typically as status symbols. The elk this person is riding is massive and equipped with plate armor, not chainmail like many of the other horses. It must be a buck because it has an impressive spread of antlers coming off of its head. The rider's helmet seems to also emulate this type of head ornamentation. You see a metal branches coming out of the lobes, while there's not as grandiose as the animal they are riding upon, it does appear to have a similar unique look nonetheless. It's here you all notice that one of the chainmail knights nudges into the side of another one and gestures towards your approaching lot as you guys are some 90 feet away. There's a weird head bob between the 2 of them. These are these individuals that are in the back, the chainmail wearing ones, not the ones in plate. And these are the riders that are recognizing. The back of the People's Band is to you right now. So there's a weird head bob between the 2. You see the second man begin to point to your group, counting you all as if trying to see the total number that you guys are present. There's no movement from them towards you, but you can feel and tell there's a pair of eyes locked onto you pretty heavily. As you all near, you start to catch the conversation between these 2 groups of soldiers. All of you will catch part of this conversation, just those of you with higher perception would catch a bigger slice of this earlier into the discussion. So, Doma, you're not completely out, you do catch the bulk of this conversation, right? I am aware that you are not under our direct authority, but your mutual cooperation would be highly appreciated. All we are asking is your assistance in the matter. Milady, how are we to be of aid exactly? Your lot has been approaching from Manoa on the road all day, yes? We have, yeah. Have you come across a group of men, around a half a dozen? They would most likely be on horseback, probably with more horses than they have men. One of the bandsmen turns over his shoulder and looks at your group. No, not like them. They would be more ruffian-like, scars, tattoos, patchwork armor. Can't say we've seen a group like that. The woman turns over her shoulder, looks towards one of the plated men. It's probably like you thought, Tompton. The helmet man gestures with his hand, clearly responding, but in a voice that's deep and hard to pick up on. I concur. Would your lot be willing to do us one favor then? What would that be, milady? You are probably nearing the edge of your patrol, yeah? You were to head east soon again, yeah? Yes, we would be, I guess. Wonderful. Could you perhaps head back now? We are in the pursuit of some horse thieves, a very serious crime here in Fairfield. We aren't asking that you fight these people, in fact, the opposite. They know what's at stake to fight for the stock, so they must be very capable to take such a risk. I doubt your men could even in fact survive an encounter. However, your very presence on the road should discourage them from using it. That would benefit us greatly, as it would likely corral them more northward, where we will eventually catch up to them. Yeah, we could do that. We're only gonna go back daybreak anyways. Thank you, comrade. We appreciate it. The People's Band support here is always nice. Riders! She shouts out, and you see all the horsemen suddenly shift to attention and towards their superior. We head north to catch the barbarians! Ride! She squawks, and the squad suddenly heads off with a thick gallop at first. You hear the thunder of their hooves as it strikes into the dirt path, before they then cut right into the hillside, northward. You can see that they start to slow down into a trot a little bit later, and that kind of thunderous roar of the hooves dies down just a little bit at the same time. The Ironhoof riders are out and hunting some dangerous men. It's at this point the People's Band, they see your lot kind of more and they kind of acknowledge you all, but being aware that you're not their quarry, they let you guys walk past them or trot past them, and they start moving eastward immediately. Your lot continues heading west past this altercation, and it doesn't take very long for you to recognize that both of these two separate forces of enforcement disappear from view. One heading north on horseback through the hills itself, through the wheat and such, and the other on the highway. Your journey continues. Time ticks by, mostly uneventful. Any altercations you have with people present, citizens, are similar to those that were notated previously. Farmers, not too interested in your affairs, and beyond that, how's it going, ma'am, sir, stuff like that, right? It's just a kind of like greeting, like, I'm aware you exist, but I'm doing my own things. And I imagine your group probably responds in kind instead of going, hey, I'm Evelyn, says Tira, from like, you're probably not giving your life story, right? It's probably not that. So nope. You keeping the low profile that you guys are trying to do. You
just being cordial,
yeah,
being friendly,
giving salutations in the respectful, polite manner that you should be, but ultimately, yeah. And there is a couple instances where you do see a couple wagons over the course of the long day ahead of you, where you see a what would appear, I mean, for the lack of a better word, refugees, people that look like they're fleeing from more west of the western states. They have like carts, wagons loaded to the brim full of a variety of different goods, right? Like we're talking furniture, paintings from their family. There's a whole bunch of food. They have like almost every animal they could. There's like a chicken that's trying to like fly out of the arms of a little girl, and she's like trying to keep it clamped shut, and it's like pecking her, and she's like, stop it, and she's like starting to smack the chicken. Things like this, right? Goats and pigs, and you've seen at least two families just pack up like everything and fleeing. is what it looks like. They look like they're disheveled. They look like they're tired. It looks like they are not maybe getting the right amount of rest and R&R that they should be having because of undue anxiety. But there's not a huge amount of them. 2 over a whole day is, pretty low volume. But each of you would kind of internalize that the more west you go, the more you're going to be seeing people like that. The more desperate people will be to flee from whatever this unseen threat happens to be. Is there anything that any of you would like to do as this day continues on? Be that through the hillsides, be that with each other, be that with sites that may exist or may not have been written in advance.
I would love to rob one of the knights of their armor, but I don't think we'll be doing that.
No.
Well, that would have been only one of them had an official plate, and that would have been very interesting to have tried.
I quick save and then attack that knight.
You are immediately obliterated.
Speak his health. Yeah.
And it immediately gives you the red prompt, game over.
Yep,
Yeah, basically, yeah.
It's that bad, huh?
Cena.
No, I just would be definitely a change of the storyline that we've had invested thus far.
Yeah.
It's not only even campaign. Oh my god, I have to suddenly get Lord Darian Lamont back. Holy shit.
Yeah, but Doma would get his elk also armor. Anyways, I don't think anyone wants to do it.
Yeah, I got nothing to say to nobody, alright?
We're just trotting along, all right?
All right, let's do my temperature check when I see an opportune moment to do such. Okay, so the several hours go by, and night's starting to descend upon you guys, and you're recognizing you're nearing the end of your 3rd day of travel, and overall, this day's been one of the best you've had thus far. Very calm, very relaxing. The storm long over. Your 2nd day wasn't too bad with the conservationists, but you did have some needy people trying to ask for things from you, right? So Baldric was probably grumbling about that for a bit. But today, you guys have been left to your own affairs. People haven't really been bothering you, and it's just been a good ride, right? Good ride west. All right. Well, lo and behold, this is where the Highway Rider shows up. Desperados, everyone. All right. So
Not the highway, right?
you guys, as night is coming, you could push through, but you could also stop and rest. And the safe thing, the smart thing would be to pull off the road at a place that you find opportunistic and bunker down for the evening. But I can't control your characters. I need you to actually affirm what your decision is going to be, because for all I know, you're paranoid out of your mind since you've had so many altercations in the last few nights that maybe you think another one's coming. Who knows? So
Another one is definitely coming.
so with that in mind, hey, don't you miss having a combat almost every episode? You guys are like, I never potato being like, oh my god, this veneer arc. There's been no combat for like 12 sessions, Laris. I mean,
It was longer than Veneer Arc, I swear.
you had some fights with Pat.
No, it was great. It was great.
Yeah, that was my first
You were
fight in
jumped
the
in the
campaign.
woods on the way
No,
to
you fought methods first, and you gotta fight a demon
God.
hound.
Oh yeah, the methods. What a challenging fight that was.
Shut up!
What a
Methodist is take resources. Your OPS group killing things so fast. Fuck off. Jesus
I
Christ.
didn't even hit one.
Alright.
That's because you suck. You don't hit anything, alright? Just get out of
Yeah,
here.
it's
Don't
my
blame
fault.
me.
Fuck you.
Blame the character you made.
Alright, boys, we're fighting the knights. Let's go.
Yeah, we're going back to that armor.
Lumi, can you do the nature thing again? What the spell you used?
Yes, it shouldn't be much of an issue. Could we actually get the horses hitched down before I cast it so that they're inside?
Horse.
Makes sense to me.
I could probably help you with that, Lemmy.
Alright.
if you want.
Yes, you guys find an area with trees that you could actually anchor horses to. There's a small little pond that's loud with life. We're talking frogs going ham. They're just croaking. But, you could fish in this pond. You could relax this pond. And if you're
Fish, you
capable,
say?
you could
Fish, you
try to
say?
fish in this pond. It was one of those activities that could have happened on your journey, like hunting, for example. But I can't force you to get food to call. No, even though I know you care about it. But
So
The
I'm going
call's
to
got-
cast it about 50 feet away from the pond because I don't want to disturb the life that's happening there. But
the trees would be near the pond. So if if you want to hitch
I guess
the horses.
I don't care. You know what? I don't have to force any. Oh, for the horses.
Yeah, you said you wanted to hitch the horses.
I thought we could just pin them into the fucking dirt like the old settlers
barbarians
would.
that you are. Okay.
What? No,
No,
the fucking 1900s. That's still happening.
All right. What
All right.
pittance? What's pittance?
Does anyone have? Yeah,
Do we have
Do you
that guy-
actually
That's a
have
good question, yeah.
Look at that guy raising his hand right there.
Do you actually have
Actually,
pittance?
I don't have pittance.
That's what
I
I
had.
That's what
I
I
had pittance.
What have you done with them?
Well, that
They are
complicates
long
that.
gone.
That complicates that. I mean, there's so many ways you could force the animals to not retreat. I get what
I
you're
have a
trying
crowbar
to do,
you can use.
but you did say hitch, so you want to. It sounds like you want to keep them in a place where they're stuck. So it probably would want to anchor them to an actual piece of terrain. Thus, I made a tree and a pond with frogs for you because it seemed like that's the direction you want. But no, that's not
Right.
good enough for Lumi.
I think that
I just don't want to disturb the life by putting a fucking
put it on the
barrier
edge of the damn.
fog.
Like it's.
These innocent
Oh.
creatures.
I
don't
have a
need to
question.
suffer.
Yes, your question is free
Did
to be.
Thorak pick up his dagger and spear?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got your.
Okay,
you got your-
good.
You got back. I could be mean and make you lose like one of them because technical rules for ammunitions you lose like half. But whatever, you got it back.
All right, great,
What
It was
is
against
perfect.
Dwarvens, I
Alright.
don't care.
Never mind.
I can-
I'll cast it here. I can choose where the fog goes, so I just won't put any over the pond.
Okay. Alright, so along the edge and a little bit from the shoreline itself, maybe 10 feet or whatever, right? You make a space where the horses are, so you can create it. So just like last time, you have the election. We're now more familiar with the spell, and I've given a better review. You get the ability to do
It's
a couple other
all
things.
fog.
Alright, all fog. No grass.
And then 4 of those trees come to life.
okay.
I uproot 4 of them,
what
the-
and
as-
they come to me as servants.
right.
Say, all right,
Ooh,
I'm
there's
gonna
a
need
creaking-
one of you at every corner.
Did you want wind
And-
to come with it? Because you can pick one of those.
No,
extra.
no wind. I don't want the fucking wind.
You are aware that the wind does not affect you guys. You're immune to it, right? It only
I don't know
affects.
what I would even do with the wind.
It's free gust of wind and free or wall of wind. I mean, you can make your part. I mean, it would affect other animals in the area. So I mean, I can understand why you're like, nah, it's not. But all right. Well, nonetheless.
No.
So it's
just
just
flying
fog, a 90-foot blob of fog on the edge of a little pond. It's croaked to life with a bunch of frogs. And after 10 minutes, which now, okay, let me, give me a moment to fix webcams. Let's see here. All right, so TW is there. I can just do this, drag myself to the right. Sorry. Hopefully we do this less in the future because everyone starts using their webcam again. Alright, that looks good. Kyle's in the right spot. I need to get my boy DW a camera position. I guess I need to move this up. Yeah. Okay. Should only need another 30 seconds, hopefully. Sorry, folks. Sorry. You need to catch up with Kyle. That's what we normally do. Catch Kyle up.
Kyle, we have been traveling for hours.
Came
That
across
is
some
all.
knights. We learned about bandits in the area. But aside from that, it has been a days of traveling with tiny conversation with passerbys. The western states doesn't seem to be in any sort of panic, at least on the outskirts. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, we saw some lovely windmills. The old Dutch-style windmills, fat bottom, comfy-looking ones.
Yeah,
This has
early-
been a very pleasant area.
Field of early growing wheat with the windmills, white sails in the distance. Really,
Beautiful
really
scenery.
aesthetic kind of rural area, rolling hills.
Horses running.
The Iron Hoof Knights, though, that's some cool dudes.
Laris did have your
Mhm.
character asking for water repeatedly, and we denied him, and now your kidney stones are back, though.
Oh,
True.
lies.
Why don't I have water?
I never
Lies.
did this to you.
You also have dysentery. This is Oregon Trail. We're heading
Oh
west.
my!
He's lying. Don't trust the dungeon master. We're telling the
You
truth.
did lose your children to the river, unfortunately.
Yeah, we had to ford the river, and something had to go off the cart to save the cart, and
Cart's
it
worth more than
happens.
the goods.
It happens.
But you have plenty of meat. You've done really good on the hunting. So.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Fantastic.
We're gonna starve and die out here.
Don't worry. That's why I call sitting. His feet are back right now. He's fishing.
All right. So
I'm
sorry.
Roger with fish with.
I'm back.
Fuck
I'm
it.
back. We're good. We're good. We should close enough. Close enough. All right. So after 10 minutes of casting his spell, but it's a 6th level spell slot, Nature Grove, or Druid Grove. Once again, a bunch of fog appears, which you guys can see through. But you can tell there's little green blobs of light, almost like fireflies. Sorry. That kind of exist in this space that kind of help you recognize the boundary that you're in this blob of fog. And then 4 of the trees in the area suddenly, as you see their roots kind of rip out of the ground, and there's a couple birds that fly off in sudden panic. From one of the holes inside the tree, there's a hoo as if 2 owls kind of fly out, hit each other, and try to fly out.
Jesus Christ!
You ruining people's homes. So birds freak out from the 4 trees that they were using as a home. But the trees kind of come towards you, and they kind of just loom over this little fairy in your group.
It's the Hungering Ones witches! They're coming back! Everyone, get ready!
No, they're fine. They're here to help us. All right. So I need each of you to stand at a corner and try to dissuade anything that looks like it wants to do harm to us to go away. Don't hurt them though.
Can they talk?
And one goes one corner, one goes the other corner, and they all separate into. And then they kind of just stand there. They don't do patrols; they just stand there, and they basically almost look like they become inanimate. And there's kind of like the, were those moving?
They can talk.
But then you can tell for sure because there's moss on some side, and it's turned to a position where there shouldn't be moss, and so I guess it has moved. But okay, so there's 4 guardians with you guys.
They can talk, but I don't much care to talk to plants, as I've already said.
Do they have something to say?
I don't know. I didn't ask.
Didn't we have this conversation before?
No. I'm asking more so because how would they dissuade anybody from coming?
Oh, by moving their hands in the way and pushing them off.
Oh.
I like that idea. It's a good idea. Very straightforward.
I'm more imagining that I don't think a lot of smart people will brave this fog that's so thick it actually hinders their movement. I'm imagining predators might, though, if they smell us bleeding.
It's right now where the cacophony of frog croaks resumes again after being quiet from the massive amount of noise the trees made. But like all at once. All at the same time. And I can imagine that this call is kind of just now into the water, just waiting. And suddenly something grabs onto the boat.
Oh no, I'm sorry. These ones can't speak. These treants in particular cannot speak.
They cannot.
Okay.
But
Normal treants can.
And you reel in a shoe.
Oh.
You know, maybe these conservationists have an idea here. Something. Why is there a shoe in this pond? He kicks
It's not even near the main road.
Splashes back into the pond.
He throws out his rod again.
Okay. So you guys bunker down for the evening. It's a nice night. You're in your little shelter bubble of fog. Anything anyone would like to do? Anything anyone would like to say? Watches? Anything like that? What are we doing here tonight?
Well, we're obviously going to set up a watch. A call will take second watch, I guess. Who wants first?
Roderick to go first. Fuck it.
Roderick's on first. Who's on third?
Alright, Thorik's gonna do a watch. Thorik hasn't done one in a while.
This is the first rest we've had since the fight with the wyverns.
It's the end of day 3.
I'll take the last watch.
Okay. All right.
So Roderick, a call, Thorik, Evelyn.
Okay, it's at this point that another bite. And as you it's very easy to get this one in, but there's a massive bullfrog at the end of your line.
Go away.
It's Wednesday, my dudes.
he contemplates kicking the frog and is like,
"It's meat. You can eat frog." So
Take it to the mountain.
It's like
It doesn't
struggling,
look
trying to
very-
get free. It's kind of like puffed its body up a bit, but
It doesn't look very appetizing.
there's a
I
moment
don't know,
that
the
stare
legs
down
are
the
okay.
eyes and kind of blink and look
Yeah.
up at you, like hoping that there's a way to get out of this predicament and not end up in the stomach of this massive
it
cat that caught
be.
I
it.
hear if you hold those things too long, you get warts.
But if you kiss one,
That
one,
doesn't
you
make-
become a prince or princess.
Oh, I remember
Sounds
seeing
like
that play.
hearsay, I say, Duma. I mean, how does that make sense? And also, a call got all the
Magic.
fur on him. Magic.
Wait,
I don't know
which
what you
one were we
think.
talking
I don't
about?
know what you
Are you
think the
telling me
arcane
the
is.
warts?
But that's
Couldn't
not
be a
what the
magic frog
arcane
that
is.
gives you warts?
Either one can be magic. Think about it.
Yeah.
So who wants to kiss the frog?
I click
That
on
does
it.
not
I'm
sound
good.
sanitary.
I'm good.
Has to be the one that caught it.
I think
What are you guys
should let it
talking
go.
about?
It's managed to position itself, and now it's trying to bite your finger to get free.
Ow!
But it,
What are you doing?
yeah,
Oh,
No teeth.
you know what? You have a fighter's instinct. I'll let you go. Go
Are
on.
you gonna
be free.
eat that?
No.
I have my spear. No.
Takes the trident and like tries to like fork it.
Zoom.
I'm not eating that thing. It was nasty as it throws out its rod
Okay.
again.
All right, so it's as you guys go to sleep, and the like last like 10-15 minutes before you finally all start getting unconsciousness, you're all greeted with a beautiful sight of a bunch of fireflies actually over the water's edge, interacting with the water, above the water, looking for their own sort of food for the evening, and just kind of darting around. There's a huge color spread of orange and in some cases even green, interacting even with the green light of the fog that you see. Not like they're seeming that they're trying to interact with it, but it seems that they are active and about. But eventually that appeal of this aesthetic eventually dries out, and you eventually go, I got a job to do, and each of you begin to go to sleep. And so the watches kick in. So who was the first watch?
Roderick.
Roderick. Great. Perception check.
Did it again? Perception check?
Eee.
All right.
Million.
So,
Break
and it, why does he talk? I guess mention. Wait, is Krista actually going to be around? Oh Lord!
She is
Oh,
around.
Lord.
Did you want to talk to your
That's it.
familiar?
Yes.
Oh man, it's like I asked 3 times a day if there's any. But yeah, what would you like
Krista's
to ask
real?
her? Little Krista.
Wait, what? Did it? Not to be cryptic in a way, but are we getting closer to that place? And
Well, there's a delay.
that place.
And then eventually there's like a little buzz now, so that a weight lands on your shoulder. I assume you're trying to talk to me because no one else is awake. What was that you were asking?
Are we getting closer to that place?
Oh, well, we have to be. I don't know the exact. I just know that once we get the right smell in the air and the right kind of humidity, I'll recognize that familiarity, and then I can guide us there. So each day closer is a day closer.
Well, I guess what I'm trying to get at, do you think it'll be before or after we get to Westwind?
Ooh, probably a little bit before. It's probably within a day or so travel of Westwind, right? Because that's where you were when
Yeah.
it happened. But that's where we met, and look at all the fun things we've done, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a net positive considering everything. Well, yeah.
See, good things do come. They always say, oh, the outer evils are so dangerous, but they just don't know them.
Is that you saying that, or are you just...
That's me
Trying
saying
to-
that. Of course, it's me saying that. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that. If you didn't work with Elrian, I mean, I wouldn't be alive. I wouldn't be able to do all of this. And as she twirls on your shoulder, you see that her visibility drops for a little bit. And then she kind of points up towards the fireflies, towards the sky. Isn't it all so beautiful? Sometimes you just gotta let it
It
all
is.
come in.
Yeah, you're right. I've been a little worried about entering into Westwood. Part of me has wanted to disguise myself, but I'm not sure if I want to do that now.
Well, I mean, you have way more friends than back then. I remember when we came
say that
back
again?
that one time and it wasn't so good for you, but... Well, you lived. Right? But this time, it's different. This time, we can fix that wrong.
Yeah. Absolutely, we're in this together. And with our friends, too.
Yep, Krista and Roderick, the best of duos. Oh. Was there anything else you wanted to talk to me about?
Did you need anything?
No, I steal some of your food from time to time to make sure I don't die, but,
I mean,
you're
of
okay.
course.
Yeah. I really want to pull a prank on Baldric, but I can't think of a good one to do.
I can think of one. Well, no, never mind. I won't do that. He'll attribute it to me anyway.
What could we do to him? He's always such a grumpy louse.
Yes, I guess that's what happened. He start get up there in age.
Well, I'm not that old.
Don't let me get to that point.
Okay. I mean, just let me know.
I don't. I mean, to be like that when I'm older. I don't have anything. I mean, maybe can like always. We can drop leaves in his drink.
I need your help. Would you be willing to help me, Roderick?
What is it?
Well, see, the thing is that we got this beautiful pond right here. All we need to do is just catch one frog and slip it into his bag. It would be funny. It'd be hilarious. Do you think you could help me catch a frog?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Let's do it.
All right, can we make a survival roll? You have advantage. She's trying to help you convince the frog.
Okay. Wee advantage. Survival. That is a what? 16.
Okay, that's enough to catch a frog. You catch a frog. The plan wasn't as great as Krista wanted. You used her as bait, which she unfortunately accepted. But you did save her time before she. But you catch a frog, and it's kind of struggling, just like with a collar. Okay. So since you have it, all you gotta do is just use your little hand and sneak it into his little bag and drop it in there. And then he's gotta wait.
All right. Yeah. Let's mage hand it in.
Okay. So she helps, like, flies in invisible. She lifts his blankets up a bit as the mage hand comes in with this frog struggling with the spectral hand. And then it gets put into the blanket. Can I get a sleight of hand with advantage, please?
Oh, thank God for the advantage, right? So sleight of hand 17.
All right. When the frog gets in there, she kind of like clamps the bag shut for a bit and just waits. And there's like occasionally like a little plopping going left to right inside the bag as it's like trying to find its way out. The ball doesn't seem to be aware of it immediately. And you guys sit there and wait. And wait. And wait. And then like 5-10 minutes and nothing happens. And Chris says, I was hoping something more funny. I must have gotten tired and fell asleep.
And just wait till the morning.
Okay. And at this point, then after that, you guys talk about other little things for a little bit before shift ends, and you can switch to the next person.
Yep. And that'd be a call, correct?
All right. A call. Perception check. And while you're doing a perception check, what would you like to do, if anything special?
I was muted. He'll just be perceptive. I mean, his doesn't have really anything to do. He didn't have much luck with fish tonight, so he's just gonna relax and keep lookout.
All right.
So let's see. Perception. Hoya!
Is that 18 or 10?
That is cocked, but it says 10.
10 it is.
So we'll call it a 10. That is a 18.
Still pretty good. Okay. In maybe an hour and 40 minutes of your shift, you see a silhouette kind of like lumbering from the road towards this direction, towards the fog. And there's kind of like a stumbling to this individual. And it looks like it's a humanoid, right? And there's like a weird like way they move as the darkness. It's like every step they kind of like almost fall over. And you can hear kind of muttering from them. Where the hell did all this fog come from? And it's like there's like waving at the fog. Oh no, it's on there somewhere. Come on. Hello? Is anyone there?
Out of the fog, a Catman appears. Oh.
I thought I heard someone out there.
Greetings. Sorry to bother you. Hello.
Yes, you see in better detail. He actually roamed into the fog, so you came up to him, and so he's like freaking out a little at first because he can't see you, the fog, but then he kind of calms down after you probably help. So you see a man probably in his early 30s, brown hair, unkept beard, poor clothing. And then the reason that he's stumbling is that he's actually missing the majority of his left leg. It looks like it was removed, but it does look like it's been healed since. So he's not bleeding out now, right? He has survived the ordeal, but like basically the thigh and down, that leg is gone, right?
Yeah.
So you can tell he looks impoverished. He looks famished. He doesn't look like he's in the best of health. It looks like he's struggling, right? Can you help me? There's normally like a pond near here, and I'm trying to get some water for the evening, and I can't seem to find it.
Oh, sure, absolutely. We just took camp by this area, and we would be gone in the morning. But one moment. If you would stay put, if it would be easier, I can get the water for you.
I mean, I don't have a receptacle, so if you just could help me find it. Do you know where it is? Is it like that way or over there?
Just follow me.
Crazy. It's like this is like that weird witches shit you hear about. Cause like I can't even see you, my friend. I mean, I know you're like that tall, but like it's crazy.
Here, look, just like reach out your hand and I will take it and it just lead the way. Here you go.
Oh, thanks. Thank you. Oh, you are very furry. There's like a kind of a nervousness to the body, like they almost like pulled away from it for a moment.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Okay.
I am Tabaxi.
You should be more nervous about the 2 trees that are about to remove him from this fucking area.
With that, you lead, and the trees. There was a shift, but they seem to not be interacting in a hostile way towards the individual, oddly enough. So you bring him to the water's edge, and he kind of like scoops up with his hands. He's drinking like with his hands. Oh, thanks. It's really hard to find resources when you're enfeebled like me. So you wouldn't happen to have like a spare bite or something, would you?
Oh,
times are rough
sure,
these days.
Absolutely. I'll give him a ration.
A whole ration?
Yeah. I have a lot of rations.
Okay. Yeah. So you give him the full thing. It's like with like a
mark
kind
it
of covered in like a little like kitchen cloth, right? Like paper towel, and not paper but towel like substance to kind of. Whoa. Can't quite. It feels like there's a lot in here though. So if I could use my eyes, but
it can get you through the day. Too, if you make use of it.
More than enough, thank you. That's very kind of you. I was hoping just for some scraps from leftover from your camp or something. You know, maybe loose beans or. It's what normally I get these days. This will get me through at least a week. Thank you.
You're more than welcome. I hope luck turns for you soon and you are off to better days.
Yeah. I feel like that, the meddler's finally giving me some advantage, because there's supposedly a little upstart town headed east. They're calling it Renoa or something, and it's growing. And there might be work for folk like me. Can't do the old stuff anymore. They don't take people that don't have the means to. So, I mean, I'm hoping maybe I can get something that will let me help in a way that I can. I don't know. I'm willing to do work. It's just that people don't want the work I can do. So it's not easy. Name's Peter, by the way. Peter Handler. What's your name?
Ikal. It's good to meet you, Peter. If I am traveling back into the area of Renoa, I hope that you are doing well over there. Is that where you're heading?
That's the plan. I'm kind of a wanderer these days. was homes from Ferdin, but not any longer. The family didn't like it when I came back from the war without the leg, and they said I changed, and I guess I did, and then I've lost everything, so it's tough. But I don't need to make no sob story about it. That's just what's been happening to Peter, and I think I'm learning and improving and taking one step at a time. He almost gestures to the one leg.
Well, the big thing is to not give up, Peter, and
you're real, right?
Something.
You are real, right? I'm not like dying, cause I mean this is surreal. I mean, right?
Well, I'm real, but even if I wasn't, it is still a blessing, is it not? You have food, you have water, you can continue on your way, and you can maybe have a good look of positivity.
Yeah. You know what? Doesn't matter. You're right. I have the blessings I have, and thank you, Nicole. If you're a lone traveler like me, it eats up at you. I invite you to come with, but sounds like you're not heading that way. So,
I'm heading west, and if I were you, Peter, when you get to Renoa,
you shouldn't head west, Nicole. It ain't good there. It's really bad out there. I don't know. Are you aware of what's going on in the west?
I know there is a sickness that plagues the land.
People are dying, Carl. They're dying by the dozens.
Well, me and mine, we hope to maybe try and solve this problem.
Oh wow, you and yours. Oh jeez. Right. You see, like he's almost like trying to like almost like cover his back because he suddenly feels a little bit more vulnerable. Well, I mean that's pretty ambitious of you all. Gods must be with you.
We merely do what we can with what we are afforded.
You'll be careful. They always say kindness comes back, and well, he kind of like gestures with the food. I'll come back to you. For sure. I better let you get back to whatever you're doing here. Be safe, you and your lot.
You as well, Peter. Here, let me lead you out of the fog.
Oh, okay. How do you know? Like, I can't see a foot in front of me.
It is magic.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's kind of what I was thinking, like a witch or something. But I mean, and then you get into the edge of it. Oh wow, it's like literally just like right here. I kind of just stumbled in because of the darkness in the first place, but I guess I can kind of see it now. Did you actually walk out of the fog, or are you still in the fog?
Yeah, like there will be like a cat face that pops out of the fog as I'll give him a thumbs up.
Oh, I was kind of thinking you were more like a dog person. I was afraid you might be a werewolf, and but...
Well, I would at least be a friendly werewolf.
I've known a few tabaxi. There was this, girl one in this group, this mercenary band out of Windheim. I think she leads some section of the Emboldened Breast. But all right, I haven't seen many others. Kind of rare.
Before you go, Peter, the illness, how does it take root? Do you know specifics or any sort of thing about it?
While traveling through, I managed to be ahead of the wave, I guess you could say. I saw some of the problems. Houses closing down. People on the street just dead. Oh, no good. They're trying to cover it up, it looks like. Some people trying to keep it quiet, but... Good.
When you say ahead of the wave, is it worse the farther west you go?
Oh, yeah. It is.
Your mic cut. You say yeah?
Oh, yeah. It is.
Okay. All right, well...
They say Westwind, where it came from. Somebody would think that Marlesh did it. A curse from the ocean for us fucking with it too long. Westwind's always been that kind of sort where they aren't necessarily correct in their line of thinking. Divine punishment. Never been a sailor though, so... Never heard that Marlesh was the kind of fucking cursed mortals though. Maybe Valad.
Well, whatever it is, hopefully by the next time we come through the city of Renoa, I can bring good news and see you in a better state.
And if they don't want me there, or I can't get there, I'll continue roaming. Don't know where else to go, just gotta keep looking. I know they won't let me in Windheim probably, so maybe I'll have to head south. Flee, I guess. Don't really like the heat though. Anywho, that's enough about me. Thank you, Carl. And you and yours. God's protect you. Thanks. Kind of like...
If you hear... As he turns, like, if you hear the name Heartseeker, that is us.
Yeah. That's kind of a neat name. Alright. Thank you, Heartseeker. And he begins to continue lumbering his way out as you go back into the fog and sit back down.
The cat of the fog. Handing out rations and water.
And watch goes on eventful. That was the exciting thing of the night. Third watch?
I'll go and wake up Thorak.
Thorak, thank you very much.
You mean Potato's character?
I'll wake up Thrak, the wizard orc.
DM, you don't even have a character.
I have like more characters than than all of you combined. Shut up.
And we can kill all of them.
I can kill you too.
Try me, bitch.
Oh god!
anyways.
Don't poke the bear here.
I poke Thorak's head. Wake up. Wake up.
I hate watches. Fine.
You know, why does...
Get up and get out of bed.
Have you ever thought about that? Why did the creator of that thing name it a watch? The thing that you have? You know the thing that you turn? It's called a watch, right?
I have no idea what you're talking about. I have a clock. It's written down here as clock, so I don't know what the watch is.
In fact, when it was presented to you guys, it wasn't even named yet. He had some random stupid name to it, and you guys decided to abridge Earth terminology. But let's call it a watch or something. So it was really you who pushed it that way.
Take my dumb joke anyway.
It's the time teller. The time teller.
Time teller, right? Why did they call it that? Weird.
Because it tells time.
Very appropriate.
I think it's... Yeah. Good night, Arkelya. You seem tired.
I am very tired. Oh, by the way, we had a visitor by the name of Peter come by. I gave him food and water, and then he left.
Right.
Good night.
Well, I'm sure you had fun. And your imaginary friend, I bet he's great. Alright. I'll pat you on the shoulder.
I've never met Peter.
He'll go
Handler.
over to the campfire.
Only you did.
I'll go over to by the campfire, sit down, make myself comfortable, take a deep breath, and do my watch.
Alright. And, no check necessary. Nothing eventful happens. Nice, cold, quiet 2 hours go by. Evelyn can get up if she wants and join you if she would like. Or she can just continue to, stay in her
I'm gonna
bed.
stay nuzzled in bed.
It's nice and warm in those covers. Someone else has got it. Alright, and Thoric, the last watch.
Wait, shit. I always make fun of others for doing this, and now I don't know the last. It has to be Owl, right? It was Owl.
Yeah, with me.
Does Thoric
I'm
remember
pretending.
that, though?
I'm pretty sure he does.
Okay.
He has to roll for it, doesn't he?
No, it's
Look
fine.
it up.
Alright, so you wake up
He'll stand
Owl,
over.
she gets up, she'll cover the 2 hours. Morning comes. Sunlight hits.
Whoa.
Everyone wakes up. You all get the long rest again, so all those exhaustions are gone, all your resources are returned. Which has already pretty much happened anyways, but even the level 6 spell's back. Alright,
What time is it?
Oh yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah, you check, it's like 9 in the morning. It's kind of the rough time you guys are waking up. You're a little off kilt because of the Rustic Meadows ordeal. Kind of made you guys have to sleep in a little bit later. So you're basically waking up at 9 right now. It's when you guys are kind of ready to hit the road.
That's exactly 9:00 time teller. That's nice.
So, start
morning?
of the third day, after you guys get your food in your stomach, get ready to go, you get back on your horses, and you can continue moving west.
Just a little tiny bit of info. I have the trees moved back to where they were, and when I end the spell, they attempt to take root where they were, so... I didn't disturb nature too much, all right? One night, those birds were homeless.
Those owls are never going back to that
They
tree.
were.
They are never using that again. That was
Those owls think that
all
tree
the
is
shock they could ever handle.
Thank God they
They're-
don't have memories.
They're birds. They'll be
I
fine.
got their bird brains.
Okay, so where was it? 1, 2, 3. So you guys just did that
Ow.
one. Okay, yeah. So that means we should be here. So looking at the map, you should be a little bit. Oh,
Lumi,
I just
how
had the damn
strong are
curve
those
again.
these things? Oh my god. We both went just like,
So yeah, what were we saying, Thor?
So, Lumi, how strong are those tree things?
Oh, not like... I mean, like, you could probably kill all 4 of them with relative ease, but, like, I don't know, a bear might have a lot of trouble, a few wolves, and
I don't
there's
know.
enough to drive off.
I've met a very strong bear before.
Well,
Basically down him in one turn.
I don't think I've met a bear strong enough to beat them.
Oh, this bear, this bear was different. It was blessed by Marlesh. It was.
12, 15 feet tall bear from the ground.
I don't know if he had Marlesh's blessing, but
I
certainly
swear,
was big.
its claws did lightning strikes every time it hit. It was
Didn't do that,
brutal.
but it did lacerate you really badly.
Well, it probably couldn't take that bear then, but
No, probably not that bear.
still, quite an impressive feat.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Morning.
Oh my, Cole, how do you feel? Was a little... removing the curse, was that the trick?
I feel fine. So it probably worked.
I just slept it off.
I don't think that's how that happened, Torek.
I don't think that's how curses work.
I didn't think there was a curse.
Technically, this is
Well,
the second.
I mean-
They've already had a rest since then, Kyle. So Baldric would be aware that they should have been recovered already.
Did we?
Yeah, you just
Well,
weren't
I
weren't
thought you told me
present.
that we're trying to go to bed with the wyverns, and then it didn't.
Then they
You said we didn't.
They went to sleep and then they got the long rest. So they actually.
Oh, we did get that full rest then. Oh, okay. I
Yes.
thought
Yeah.
after a wyvern fight we did get complete rest. Okay, I didn't realize that. Sorry. I thought you
But
said
it's,
we did
it's
not,
fine.
so.
I mean, you weren't present, so it's okay. It kind of makes sense for your character. If like there was something you wanted to spin. So yeah, I mean, you could just be checking in with them on day like there's no like repetitive.
Sure. Excellent. Ah, yes. Good. Well, I'm gonna go figure out what themes I'll have in my mind today. Excuse me, and I'll go prepare some spells.
All right. Okay, so everyone mounts up. You're free to talk if you want to talk, interrupt, blah, blah, blah. Get on your horses. You continue moving west now, right? So you guys are starting day 3. Today would be basically the transition of when you complete today, you'll be over halfway to westward, right? Probably there's no other complications on the way.
Can I cast Mage Armor?
Yes, you're free to cast Mage Armor. Spell the spell
Sweet,
slot. You get
thanks.
8 hours of protection.
Thanks.
So, by the way, everyone, last night I met somebody stumbled into camp. I didn't wake you all because it was just some commoner by the name of Peter, and I gave him some food and water and sent him on his way. But yes, apparently the further west we go, it gets really bad. He mentioned like businesses closing, like people dead in the streets, and he even said a line that kind of struck me as concerning, that he thinks that it might be trying to be covered up, like it is worse than it actually sounds.
Sounds about right.
I don't think Wormsworth has anything to do with this one.
But he's not helping it, probably.
But what if he does?
I bet he might. I wouldn't put it past him.
You better solve this problem first.
Coincidence. He's a week or two ahead of us, and there's a guy getting there. It's getting bad.
But you think he would purposefully cover up something this big?
Maybe
it's just different task with.
maybe Wormsworth is more integral to the whole point of it. Yes, maybe this is our chance to really get to clean the slate. Yes,
A cover up would have to come from higher up, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the cover up is just so people don't panic
Look,
as
But
much.
it's not that they're already panicking.
and
As much.
I don't mean to alarm you specifically, Roderick, but he stated that like people suspect that the curse came from Westwind itself, and that it was the worst there.
So Westwind was the first or worst hit.
I don't know if it was the first, but he made it seem like it spread from there. So yes, potentially.
So, what even is this thing? Do we have some way to counteract it?
Do we know how long ago it started?
No, I did not ask him this information, but because he sounded like he didn't have much info himself. He was just trying to escape it. He came from the north, if I recall, from Furden.
I'm hoping I might be able to cure it, but even if I can,
Lots
of
of cure.
right, I can only cure 11 people a day.
Well, even if we cannot cure the population, we can at least take care of the source.
Hopefully.
What if the source, just saying hypothetically, what the source isn't here?
What do you mean?
I don't know.
Could
Because
it be like-
Well,
if it originated in Westwind, it's. I mean, with the port there.
It's a whole lot of speculation right now. We can
Yeah.
cross that bridge when we get there. We just need to investigate first.
how long ago was the events that you dealt with, Roderick? When did all of that happen?
I mean, leaving. I mean, I was. DM, how long has it been at this point already? Like from, I guess from.
Oh gosh, I think it's a relatively newer
Sheesh.
experience for you. Within a year, I forget your
Yeah.
exact, timeline you gave me with the character, but I think we're within a year or two, right? I think it's within
Yeah.
I think it's within the year.
I want
Actually.
to say it's within a year. I'm saying more so like from him enlisting, because that's kind of like the
Your listing
jump
was
off
pretty
point.
soon.
Has
I
been
mean,
a few-
yeah, effectively. Right
Yeah,
now,
there's a few-
2 months. You guys have been traveling for about a
2
little bit over
months.
2 months, 2.5 months, and when you enlisted, you were immediately sent, and it took you 2 weeks or whatever to travel through Windheim to get to Fort Tall, and that's the start of episode 1. So I mean, you basically just got to go back 2 weeks before the start of the game is where your character would have been accepting the head west or head east to Fort Tall, right?
Yeah, so it'd be like if basically I think the timeline was about 6 months basically 6 months, basically when he was last in Westwind, and then from there, basically the 2 weeks that basically been together, basically with that.
I just want to rule out that the cause of this could happen because of what happened to you. You know what I mean? Like that whole.
Yeah, he's been dead the entire time. He's been rotting.
No.
He's been rotting and fucking.
Figured it out.
I'm just ruling it out, people. We want to rule out the cause of this shit.
That would be very bad if you were the cause of it, though. Well,
Really
not
hope
bad
it's not
per
the
se, but just
things
And maybe
Not
not
good.
him
Yes, you're right.
specifically, but if it was related to it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to rule out the probability of that.
I don't think your every in-person entity thing would be like this. No, like it doesn't make any sense to me. They don't seem like they cause sickness.
I thought we was the hungry one after our conversation with Niera. Niera's
That's what our best
assumption
assumption.
and said she had some big hunches that it was the hungry one.
It's like sapping their life away or some evil stuff.
Yes.
Do you
And
think
with the-
Tycho was a test run?
I think it was related.
unrelated.
I think it was related in the sense it's the Hungarian one, but I don't think that. What was that one's name again? Balbrita or something like that? I don't remember her name. Whatever. No, the witch we killed, like the hag, like.
You could just call her the hag. It's the only one we fought thus far.
Well, her note had like other names that she was trying to correspond to hadn't come out there. I think she was out on her own and not really
Okay.
up to date on the current, like, this is what we're doing kind of thing to bring back the hungry one. I think it was more like she's like, hey, I'm out here, I got a good harvest, come get these souls with me from these poor sods that don't know that I'm just draining them dry. It's good stuff out here. That's kind of what her little note was, if I remember correctly. And so, I mean, the two others that she was trying to reach out to, maybe they're out here in the western states, and maybe they're the ones that are doing this, right? They don't have to all be like, this is the play, we're going to do it this way. I mean, they could be doing their own things, all trying to just achieve the same goal of bringing back the Hungarian one.
Divide and conquer almost. Find the best route.
I know, but I mean, it could be other things, or it could just be the hungry one working on his own. I mean, we just ran into when we went off to rescue Anya when she ran off on her own. We ran into another Harbinger, another Chosen, another whatever you want to call him, Avatar. I don't know, whatever. Man, and he got Roderick good. I'll tell you what, man, Roderick, you really had a doozy on you. I think there was some strong magic on you for sure, because you were gobsmacked, I tell you.
You fired that crossbow very accurately.
You shouldn't have been able to do that.
Yeah, let's not.
You should not have been able to use a crossbow. Next time you won't be able to. You will not have the intelligence.
Next time.
Yeah, next time you will not have the intelligence to know to operate and pull a trigger. You just won't. You'll just be clawed.
How does it work?
He doesn't attack. You're supposed to lower your intelligence to 1, so.
We're trying to resurface the old wounds for saying that, like, there are other people on the Hungry One's side doing things, and they don't have to all be on the same, like, team, following the same orders, all doing their own things. So, I mean, I don't know, it could be something completely else. It could be something completely else. Only that there are many evils out there trying to, do their machinations, as mentioned, the material planes in a sort of a prime central location to move from one area to another, and they're all vying for power and control over the material plane. Or it could even be someone from the material plane doing something evil, like Wormsworth. Maybe he's doing something. Maybe he's trying to get people sick so he can cure them and become a hero and make funding. It's infinite possibilities. We won't know until we get out there.
Right. It's all speculation at this point until we get something to work with.
Right.
But until then, I'll ask a brighter topic, I say. Roderick, you're from Westwind, right? Were you born there?
Yeah, I was.
What was it? What was it like?
For me, or just as a whole?
Well, just in general. I mean, both. What was it like for you? What does the place look like? Do you even like it there?
Currently, do I like it there? No. What was it like? I'll ask DM to help me out there as far as because
Westwind is.
I don't fuck
Westwind's
up his world.
Westwind is built in like a little valley that comes into like a beachhead and a town, and then became a city. And so
Like a cove
it's
thing?
it's kind of like a cove, and there are there's effectively I want to say 4 levels to the city. There is a like hillside to the left. So like if you're coming from mainland towards it, right? So you're coming on the road. You could go down the road and it winds down into the little valley that gets into the cove. You could go immediately left and not go on that road and go up to this overlooking cliff where there is middle class. You could go right into the high area, the highest portion, the taller cliff, and that portion happens to be where the rich happen to live. And then you could, go down to the middle section. And the middle section, there is the actual port itself far into the water, or more in the water. And then there's like the town in between. This is kind of more where like the business and slums happen to be. And the majority of the population lives in the inner dense like area. It's kind of congregated. There's not a lot of real estate, so there's a lot of close shoulder-to-shoulder action going on there. They even said the middle class section to the left is kind of getting a little crowded too. It's hard to kind of like they have the space to expand out, but they would have to tear the walls down. There's a lot of costs associated with it. So instead, people are kind of like packing in tighter. It's not ideal. Hopefully that gives you an idea, at least aesthetically. But I mean, like if you want to talk about like, culturally, it's a very sea kind of port area. Not pirate quality. There is more order than that. But there is, as Roderick has tested this story beforehand, he does not trust those in charge. He saw law enforcement doing some shady shit. His mentor, his adopted father, was a law enforcer who was trying to fix things in this system, and then got penalized for that, for learning the truth about something. And so Roderick does not have a good taste from those that are in control. He would attest to his own history that there is corruption. How deep that corruption goes, does it go all the way to the top, to the very noble, or is it just lower people? Well, he doesn't know that. He just knows they have a certain name that's a very unusual name of a group that he kind of notated, and then he then suffered himself a bit from getting involved in that.
Right. So, your father, family, friends. You're free to talk about that. I won't press you to do anything. You just haven't spoken about it much until now.
Most of my family's dead.
That explains it.
Yeah, friends are few and far between. I can say I'm very anxious about actually going into Westwind. So much so I'm not sure I want to, because of what happened both times, I'm not sure I want to go with my identity. I don't know.
Recognize anything?
Yeah, just on the off chance to be cautious.
So around
In
here,
what
you
way?
guys have been traveling for about a quarter of the day thus far, right? And you see something on the road that you haven't seen before. There seems to be just like wooden apparatus that's maybe about 3 to 4 feet tall, and it looks kind of triangular as from the angle. And as you get closer, the road kind of bends with it, and as it does, it becomes more visible when you get within like 90 feet. It's a sign, and on the sign there's legible print in common, and it's written in red letters, and it's well created, but it says on it, "Beware, silent plague in western states, contagious and deadly. Wear face mask. Keep at least 6 feet between you and others. Wash regularly. If sick, seek help with guard or doctors. Proceed at your own risk," is what the sign says.
Bro, they have social distancing in D&D.
Right? Magical COVID.
I guess we're getting close now.
Yeah. What were we saying before, Thorak?
From your gauge, you think that you'll probably be exiting Fairfield's terrain by the end of this day and be on the verge of Niskaria and Kirk's territory. Would be what your expectations would be based on your speed and what you think the journey would take. So today is the third day. You're 3.25 days into your journey, so you're still in Fairfield, but this is the first sign that has specified a direct warning. Going further is at your own risk, and this is a deadly epidemic.
So, like, who's going to wear this mask?
Doesn't seem like much of a cover-up if we're just putting up signs.
Well, I mean, maybe it is like, this is common knowledge that there is a plague to the west, but like, how bad it is might be the cover-up,
Yes.
Sign rated pretty grim.
This is true.
Do we have
Yeah, but opportunists.
Well, I'll take some of my clothing and I'll around my face.
Fashion a face mask?
So you guys fashion masks to the best of your ability, a cloth. It's annoying at first, but eventually you get used to it. But then it gets like, depending on the fabric you use, starts collecting humidity and that moisture, and that gets annoying. So you might want to. Yeah, it's a whole learning thing. You have to go there, right?
They really should be handing these masks out.
Government funded. God damn. It said proceed at your own risk, and it's like, nah, they should be paying this. My tax doing. All right, so the day continues, and about half a day goes by, and it's a lot more vacant in this region. There are still farms out there. They're all doing their own thing, but there's not a lot of people using the road. There's not a lot of interesting interactions that are really noteworthy. But you do have some, but there's less today than on the first day. And as you're kind of getting near that kind of like dusk section, when you're knowing that you're nearing the end of Fairfield, the rolling hills are getting less dense, and they're kind of not entering more of a level out. You're kind of at this part where you get to the top of the hill, and you see ahead of you where, from this top of this hill, the hills in front of you are much shorter, like significantly shorter, and you can see the Dan Mountain range to the north, because you kind of, the way this route works is kind of bends down and then goes up, and this is, I guess, as you're heading left, right? And so as you make your way back up, you guys are closer now towards this like edge of this little jut of the Dan Mountains, and you can see the snow-packed mountains north of you, and like there's snow, like wind blowing, there's like snow that's occasionally getting drifted off with it as the light kind of hits it, right? And you also see there's a massive body of water northwest of you, more west than north, but northwest of you, a massive body of water. Kind of could just see the reflection on it. And Niskaria, the capital of the Court of Banners, the capital of the Western States, is a city on the border of that lake. Of course, it's on the west southwest side of it, so you have a day of journey still to go before you get there. But you can see that landmark, massive Lake Forest to the northwest. You also see, after this, ahead of you, there appears to be another congregation of people on the road. Another altercation, maybe, and there's something happening. Who knows? Could be Ironhoof Riders, could be People's Band. But you have enough daylight as the sun's setting that you continue moving forward. And as you get closer to this little section, you recognize that there are more than just people here at this spot. In fact, there's even people some 1,000 or more feet on patrols, kind of doing circles around the space. A Call definitely sees them, Lumi definitely sees them with your eyes higher past the perception. There appears to be a presence of enforcement circling this point specifically, and not a large amount of them. There's loose patrols out there, and there's a congregation of people more in the middle. So you can imagine maybe like a whole platoon of people, maybe 20 or so people, maybe not a platoon, but whole squad, 20 or so people are dedicated to this task, whatever this task happens to be. You see that there are crates and boxes piled up in a way on the road to kind of narrow the road down a bit, to kind of make things kind of get more bottlenecked. There are soldiers and People's Band present talking to people. There's wagons lined up going in both directions. Some in the direction you're headed, lined up, and there's some in the direction from west to east, also lined up. And there are a bunch of little white tents to one side. There's some people running around with like white robes on with like a blue patch on their shoulder. There's a whole little like community that shouldn't be here that's here. Definitely wasn't here, Roderick, when you came before, right? But it's here now. So as you jog forward, you see a collection of vehicles, tents, mounted horses, and people. There are wagons seemingly stopped and formed into lines, one heading east and one heading west. At the front of these lines, you see several personnel talking, some with a blue band around their biceps, and others wearing white robes with a blue crest on their shoulder. As you get closer, you see that there's one People's Band person who's kind of forward out into the highway itself, a little bit further away than the congregation of people and these lines of wagons. And this guy is a People's Band soldier, and he kind of has a thick mustache, human, kind of balding on top. He looks like he's, 43, 44. He's nearing those retirement days. Probably has had a couple too many donuts because of his belly. But as you kind of nearby, close to him, that's it, folks, right? Right to the back of the line, queue right up. Please be aware. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not his voice. That's it, folks. Right to the back of the line, queue right up. Please be aware that there is a sickness going in the western states, the silent plague. If you do have immediate business that needs your direct attention, it is recommended that you postpone that activity. Going forward, you will be required to wear a cloth covering over your mouth when near other people in public. Please keep at least 1 horse distance between you and those around you. Wash yourself regularly, and you're kind of like walking by him as he's saying this speech, right? You kind of get into the back of the queue, but as he's orating this, it sounds like this guy's repeated this dozens of times. He's just like, he's almost like nonchalant. He's not even really paying attention to you. You're just another person coming by. This is standard stuff, right? But he's just going into the rhythms of it once again. So where do we left that? Yeah. Wash yourself regularly, especially your hands, more than at least a few times a day. You will see checkpoints like this throughout the states. These exist for you and the rest of the population's protection. Do not avoid these checkpoints or that will be seen as suspicious and you might get yourself arrested. The silent plague is deadly. If you're feeling tired, lethargic, weak, more than you normally would, please seek counsel from a local guard or Wormsworth Association doctor immediately. We are here to help protect you and everyone else. Please prepare your possessions for quick inspection. Any food or beverage needs to be accessible. To help speed up the process, please prepare these items if you have them now. We're here to help. Please remain civil and orderly as you process through. Going forward, there'll be more choke points like this in the silent plague. Please be aware. And he kind of repeats the same thing as you guys line up. He's just.
Oh my god, a plague with TSA mixed in? What? That's like, that is hell.
It is a new fresco.
So, you guys get in the back of this line, and so there's like 2 wagons ahead of you. And coincidentally, the front wagon seems to get cleared. There's a person in like white robes, and they're kind of like, you see they're like looking over things. And there's a cluster of them. Most of them are in this little tent community that's adjacent to here. So it looks like this barricade set up to prevent people from ramming through. The guards around are to prevent people that are trying to avoid the checkpoint. And they're just checking things, right? As you nearby, Baldric recognizes the blue symbol on the shoulder of the people in the white robes. It is that of a blueprint with a profile of a dragonborn looking in a direction. It's a Wormsworth Association member. Now, not all these people are doctors. These are probably more like apprentices or early on people that are doing work to gain into mentorship programs, right? But they have medical knowledge and or arcanic knowledge to help. And so there's a cluster. You can see that as you're like here, the ones that are coming opposite to you, get a better view of them. And it looks like that they are going into the wagon. Someone is off to the side in a tent community, and they're ritually casting like detect disease and poison, right? And then they come in shifts to then look over the people, look over their food and water, look over their animals and the objects they have in their person. So there's these heavy inspections. This is going to take some time, unfortunately. It's going to pretty much eat the most of your sunset here, but you probably will get through. Probably, you would imagine. But yeah, it's going to slow down. And so as you are waiting, your 3-line wagon, the front wagon clears out as you guys came in. There's one person ahead of you, and you see like one person, the person that was previously that Wormsworth associate that was there, goes back to the tent community to then once again he kind of like sits down. It's a short individual. And he kind of pulls like a little box and he starts like eating on like a sandwich or something as a woman comes up, an elven woman, and she seems to be the one now inspecting the wagon that's going the same direction, right? That's ahead of you, right? And you can still hear that orator with a very thick sound in his accent as he continues speaking. Even though there's no new wagon, he just keeps shouting it every minute or so just because it's like, what else am I doing?
I'm gonna have my rations at the ready just to, speed up my checkpoint meeting.
Okay.
They requested it, right?
Yeah,
to have
they
our food
requested
at
that
the
you
ready.
take your food out and present it, and so
I'll do the same.
yeah. So you guys prepare yourself. You take off. You try to make it accessible to the things that they requested, right?
Take off the shoes, Get a little container.
It's a little awkward though because after about 10 minutes, the wagon ahead of you clears. And then you guys sit around for 10 minutes at the front, and there's no replacement. And then eventually someone in white kind of approaches, or actually rather, one of the people's band approaches the little tent community and talks to someone. And then they kind of go, and then the person just like, so then that person, that people's band comes up to your lot. Sorry, looks like that lunch was just, or dinner, I guess, at this point for one of them. He'll be done in about 10 minutes, and then he'll be able to assist you. So if you can just wait, unfortunately, in 20 minutes, we'll be able to get you on your way. Sorry, folks. And so based on that timing, you guys have no choice but to sit there waiting. And the wagon of traffic coming through all goes through. So it's just you are the only ones left at this checkpoint now, right? And you see that as you've been waiting around for this abnormal long period of time, twiddling thumbs, kicking your legs up, just kind of like you get off your horses because it's kind of sore to be on the horses, right?
Worms.
You can see, especially the higher perceptive ones, that there's a variety of different personnel present at this minute. There's not just people's band. There are also Ironhoof riders. There's also 2 other knightly orders present because you can see there's 2 other kind of gamison colors being present. One with red and white trim, and the other with black and I think it's silver trim. Presumably knightly orders for Kirk and Niskarian. So this is a junction point of these 3 states. Well, it makes sense. You must literally be on the border of the 3 states, probably by the checkpoint here, right? Once you get past it, you're going to be in Niskarian, Kirk's region. Eventually, the short man that had pulled his little tin box out and was eating eventually comes up to you guys after he was waving his hands and doing ritual casting. And this guy's a chubby individual. He's a halfling. You recognize that. Did I actually write an official description, or is it just in my mind? No, it looks like I didn't actually give him official. So, yeah, if I recall, he's got curly hair. It looks like it's kind of like covered in sweat. It's kind of keeping it kind of down and kind of covering like half of one of his eyes almost. It's annoying you because you want to like push it away because that would just irritate you if it was happening to you, but he seems like he's trying to intentionally like keep that portion of his face hidden away from you. The hair is it's like slightly wavy, right? Slightly wavy hair, and it looks a little greasy. But beyond that, he looks like he's relatively well kept, basically. So as he comes up to you, apologies, folks, about the wait. It's so handy and well, I own my black after all, so, luckily I'm ready to process and check you all in now. So, please step forward into the line and have all your positions laid out in front of you, and bags open, please.
What?
Hezekiah's putting all his possessions in front of him and his bags open.
Step forward, sir, please, and put your possessions up in the line here, please, and if you can stand solo, that would be great.
Does his lymph nodes look swollen? Does he look infected?
Make a medicine check at disadvantage because you're doing it from far away.
Gosh,
love it.
Good lord.
The guy that's doing the check is riddled with the disease and spreading it to every person.
He's the check stopper, yeah.
It rolls, right?
No wonder this disease is spreading.
24.
All right. No, it doesn't look like his nip fluffs are affected. I know that the way that my tongue maybe it looks like, but that's how he sounds. It's a high pitched kind of lisp that comes out of him. Okay.
All right.
The webcam is disservicing me in this case. You're just supposed to really think about the voice of this fat, chubby halfling that's an apprentice to a doctorship. Okay. He does have a mustache. He has a mustache. It's one of those like California cop mustaches. It's just like a little extra like short. Just doesn't look kind of like looks bad. He looks like he's kind of like nearing middle age. Kind of would be like a basement dweller is what you would think this person.
Wearing glasses too.
No glasses. No. He doesn't have that. He does have good eyesight apparently. So you guys complied. You guys like get shoulder to shoulder with your bags and all your stuff in front. Your horse is like behind you. All right. So he kind of like starts like digging through your belongings uncomfortably.
Oh wow, this must have a bag of holding because it's just like magic and it's like stuff just comes out. This is so cool.
Yes, that's how the item
Can you
works,
give me
yes.
take everything out there because I hate to make sure nothing causes any contamination on it, yeah.
He's asking if you can take everything out of the bag.
I mean, would it make sense to?
I can understand.
Hey!
I mean, I just
If
told
this
you.
was the other way, wouldn't this make more sense if this happened on the way out as opposed to going in?
No, you have to do the way in too, because you know what I mean? There's like contaminants from the outside.
We have to take off
I
all
swear.
of our belongings.
Sounds like Charlie Brown to me. Growl like.
Apparently DDW is getting it though. Rely on him. So
I
I
hear
have
none
to.
of this, so yeah.
I have to hear people speak in some interesting sounds on the ambulance.
Yeah. You're our translator, Akal. Let's go.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's he want? What's he muttering about?
No, well, I'm telling you, it's just like, you dump everything in your bag of holding, please.
Yeah, he's asking you to dump everything in your bag of holding.
Exactly.
Everything. Yeah. All right. All right. We'll turn. A step aside because there's gonna be a lot of crap in it.
Yeah.
We'll turn it inside out so all the stuff comes out of it.
No, it's messy like a lot of shit. Oh my god.
You wanted us to open it.
Whoa,
I don't
okay,
think-
that's a lot. Hey, this is gonna take a minute, folks. Sorry, just give me a moment here.
he sighs to
Yeah,
himself.
we all have bags full.
Starts like
the
going
airplane
through.
meme.
I'm
Everybody.
gonna regret
Right,
telling
the
each one of us
microphone.
to turn these inside out, my guy.
All right. So as Toma starts dumping his stuff out, he kind of looks,
Oh, yeah,
looks
it's just
in,
a
and then his
massive
eyes
pile.
kind of look and.
Oh no! No, not about
Do you want me to dump mine out as well?
Wow, motherfucker. God, that's the last one of the night. You gotta be shitting me. It's always the last one. You can always do this to your meeps. It's always like everyone treats you like shit. I mean, one day, I'm gonna be the doctor. I'm gonna bust some numbers. That's what they're gonna be saying. Like, oh yeah, so meeps are so great to me. He's just muttering himself as he's digging here. And then
We're
they'll be
just
like,
following
this
your
is me.
instructions,
I'm just
sir.
the hospital here. And I'll be like, yes, that's right, you will have to. Because I'm gonna be the ruler of the world. And then be like, oh my
I
god,
think
yeah.
he just deals with a lot of pressures from his
Yeah.
peers.
It's not like he's broke mentally, but you know, hey, it's all right,
No,
right?
There is another doctor that you could train over that is not Wormworth.
All right. So after like 6 minutes, after going through all your guys' belongings,
Woo! That's bullshit. Alright, well, so there's nothing there. Okay, oh god, my spell's gonna fucking fade soon. We gotta hurry this up. Okay,
and he starts looking at each and every one of you.
lift your arm up, please. I gotta look into your armpit. Lift your arm
Do
up.
we,
No, you.
do we have to take everything off?
Sir, please, you with the beard.
What?
You lift your arms up,
Lift
please.
your arm up.
What is this? The
Lift your
Lift-
arms up.
Lift your arms up.
The what?
He's gonna pat you down, I think.
Why?
Farms.
Oh my
I have. Are you anticipating I have like vials of plague on
God.
me or something?
Just do it. So the girl, please. The girl's the girl's cussing me.
This is just like Wormsworth. I swear.
I'm more of these.
Hello, bureaucracy. Wormsworth.
Just like Wormsworth.
Yes, just like Wormsworth.
he glares at you.
Yes, because we're not seeing anything wrong with you. Old tiny piece of shit.
I did not catch
Okay,
that.
and then he
What?
looks at a call. He goes, I don't know.
Okay.
And like at literally at like the last minute of the detective.
Sir, I can't actually understand what you're actually saying.
I'm
translating. I can't either.
I'm not RPing Baldric here. It's literally.
What do you mean not understanding? Exactly.
That's fine with me. That's the character that makes.
I'm not alone. I'm not alone.
That's how Baldric feels
Well,
too.
all right. So after like 10 minutes, he kind of waddles his way over towards the people's band.
This should be good. This should be a fun. I'd be happy to get you.
So we're all
right.
fine,
Okay.
because-
Well, as long as you're certified, and then they can go through.
Yeah, well, it's close enough. I mean, my spell didn't last all the way. I kept them up, but it's close enough.
All right, Neeps. That's fine.
Alright. FX, Neeps Mile makes us you can go on to so have fun, have a rest, good luck in the donate.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Mhm. Yeah.
Bye.
How many more of these we gotta go through?
By the way, he said that he didn't get all of us with the spell, and he let us through anyway. That's a little strange, is it not?
I'm not worried about it. Let's not worry about that right now.
No, but like is that not bad? Isn't his job supposed to be like thorough? Like,
I believe his words were, "It's close enough."
I
Yeah.
think he got most of us.
no, I'm not the doctor, so like
What? The things that he was looking
Listen,
last
listen.
were horses. Were the last things he was inspecting.
Oh,
The horses. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Now listen. Sometimes when you got a lot going on, some people may cut corners.
But
Some-
we're like the last ones of the
Actually,
night. He
You
said.
continue moving through.
Exactly.
You
The
hear
reason why
a
you
little bit
cut
less
corners.
high pitched voice.
You should go to
It's
sleep.
weird. Isn't it weird he went to dinner like right before like we were the last ones to go through? It's kind of
It was
weird.
his
It's
lunchtime.
like dinner early.
He's
Lunchtime.
As you like look over your shoulder at him, he's immediately going right back to his tin box.
Oh shit, it's all cold and soggy now. God damn it.
All
Poor guy.
you guys-
Subtitles. Where are the
Heating up from
subtitles?
really far away.
He said it's all cold and
This is
soggy
so-
now.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Expletive.
Are they all going to speak this language out here? I learned common to interact with people, but this is a weird
Lumi,
language.
that man was an aberration there.
Were we not,
Aberration.
An aberration.
All right, let's go back.
were we not friends?
Too big
I
for
can,
his head. My tongue must be swollen. I don't. He must have tripped or he's got a swollen lip or something.
I don't know. It sounded like he bit his tongue in half
maybe
when he was a child.
what if that's just how he talks? I mean, like, you know, it's
Yeah,
maybe he's born like that.
Well,
To be fair, some people
Yeah,
are just
exactly.
mental worse.
Also,
I'm just
what was that
thankful like Kyle
reaction?
could translate for us because
Right.
that could have been bad if no
I
one.
kind of got what he was saying, but
It was
Illinois
Some of it was
resting
just
on
me
both
guessing.
of you. I swear.
all right.
Maybe you're right about
Oh,
where
how did you
we're-
understand? How did you understand that? A call? Was it a lip reading or something?
I mean, yeah, kind of. I'm very
Kind of.
observant, as you know.
This is true.
All
I
right.
was
So you,
also
Heard the
thinking it might
words
be
within
Wormsworth.
it's dusk. You guys you can't go much further unless you're going to be like traveling with like in night with light or torches, right? So I mean, you want to find
This
somewhere.
was a checkpoint outside of the city, right?
No, outside of the region, the country region.
Okay, yes, what I
You
mean.
know, we
Yeah,
still have
yeah,
like
yeah.
a day and some change
Yeah.
of travel,
Way
right?
last
So we're in the
time
middle of
nearby.
nowhere, basically. Still.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, pretty much.
Cool.
So which
Drink
Fire
water.
with
directions
camp?
from now on?
So do you want to go on the north side of the road in Niscaria's region, or do you want to be on the south side of the road in Kirk's region? You have to go east to go back to Fairfield, which you don't have to go to the checkpoint again. So north
yeah.
Niscaria or south in Kirk, which region do you want to camp in?
Niscaria.
Discaria.
Sorry, yeah.
Apparently everyone's favorite. It's more like Kirk!
It's closer. It's closer to the water.
It is, but still,
Fishing.
it's so far away. It's still miles and miles away.
Yeah, but it's still closer than.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, so you go north, you find a place,
got real good at
and you guys
casting.
set up camp.
Yep.
And do we have? There's no source of water tonight. East Lake's outside.
I fish out of the lake that's a day's travel away.
You don't have.
Uh-huh.
You don't have a cast.
Mentally, he's fishing.
Yes, mentally.
Mentally.
He's
Mentally,
thinking
he's
about
fishing.
the biggest fish he catches. Oh, it's so
Yeah.
huge. Oh, yeah, I can barely carry it.
Giant.
Oh, it's so big. As you guys set up, does Lumi cast his Druid Grove again?
Yeah, I didn't expend the slot. We're at the end of the day, so fuck it.
Okay. And you guys set up watches. You go to sleep.
Just so you know, I'm
And,
swapping spell.
Yeah, you're swapping. That's fine.
Popping spells.
You don't have to notify me that. Just you can do it at the start of the day, but you need to stay consistent for the whole day, right? So no cheating.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I'm
You
switching.
you don't have any prepared spells. You don't get that luxury. Evelyn gets to do it. Doma gets to do it. Lumi gets to do it, and then
Yeah, I want to feel special too. Leave me alone.
Baldric can do a little bit of it, but Thorak, Roderick, and Nicole are stuck with what they got.
I'm stuck.
All right. So as you guys break up camp, is there anything at all you'd like to discuss? Do anything?
Mage armor again.
All right. As you're going to bed. All right. Time not happen again. All right. Sure.
I'm not getting stabbed in my sleep.
All right. So
Well, we've been attacked when we Thor can attest. I mean, not having your defenses a couple of nights in a row really sucks. So
Anyone can attest. Fucking
are you
sucks.
gonna try to sleep with your armor on this night?
I've woken up a lot.
How does that work? How does...
There's a penalty.
I think
There's a penalty. You get it. You still get the long rest. You still get to recover hit points. It's just that your hit dice don't get to recover.
I'll be sleeping in armor then. I need to recover a fucking hit dice.
It's uncomfortable. So there's benefits to doing it, but it's uncomfortable, and there might be other downsides too. Like in certain environments, there might be negatives that come with sleeping with metal on.
It feels like shit. But it feels a lot better than wyvern poison, so I suppose I'm stuck with that.
Generally speaking, you take your armor off, right? So it's a mechanic that's not argued in the DMG about it. It's just that players can metagame around it. But yeah, this is the solution I've made to try to discourage it.
He's only gonna do it for now until he feels a little bit safer from night attacks.
Sure, you
Roughly
got
how many-
you got Lumi's beautiful druid grove. You're fine.
Yeah, we had it too last time I got fucked.
Yeah, it wasn't. The thing that fucked you was the inability to heal and starting to fight off with like 38 points. That's what fucked you, not your armor, my good sir.
I had plenty of health when I started that armor. My 8 AC is the thing that fucked me.
10 AC. You had a shield. All right. So.
Okay.
How many days travel to Westwind proper?
It's about
roughly?
7 days total. At the end
And
of the
we've been traveling for.
At the end of 7th
This
day.
is our third. This is our third night, right?
Yep, you're ending the third day, so you're over halfway there theoretically. Okay, so come morning, we would know Evelyn would be awake, and then maybe one other, and so everyone eventually comes to, and you guys wake up a little earlier today, more like, gosh, like as sun's kind of cresting the sky, so more like an 8 o'clock range, right? Is when it comes up. And as you guys are kind of like gathering around, drinking your coffee, your tea, right, getting ready to go, you see a wagon on the road, coming through, heading east, right? And you guys are kind of like preparing to get on your horses and move, but you just notice this one wagon, kind of like on the road coming towards you guys. Still got time before it's going to get to you, so eventually you all get on your horses and begin to move by. But the wagon, maybe within a couple minutes, skirts by you all. As you all are moving by it. And it's actually several wagons, not just one. There's 2 wagons moving through this space at the same time as you. There is some kind of white cloth covering, kind of stretched tight over that. It looks like it's tied down. There appears to be some sort of like objects inside the bed of this wagon. The wagon is not like an Oregon Trail wagon when there's like a canopy bend arch at the top. You can literally see the impressions of what appears to be, with your native perceptions, barrels. There's barrels of something being carted through in these 2 wagons. Can I
How far are they?
2 people?
How far are they?
Or
How far are they?
What was that, Roger?
How far are they?
How far?
From
At
us.
this point, they're literally passing by you.
Detect magic. Cast detect
All right,
magic.
so before you do
Yes.
that, there's some things I need to give to you all. Before
Oh,
you
fuck.
take any action, as you're riding by these people, they're going the opposite direction you are, and you're going through them. There's 2 wagons. There's 2 drivers in each of the wagon. One holding the reins. The other one has a crossbow out. It's loaded. The bolt is on the crossbow right now. These individuals are wearing armor. It's not matching armor. They don't look like they're part of a band or anything. It looks like they're wearing adventuring gear. They look like they're from different walks of life, right? It's not the same color motif or color scheme. There is no iconography that seems to latch them together. There's also a couple riders in tow with them, moving at the same pace as they are. It's about 8 to 9 guards armed right now as you guys are moving near these things. I'll let you know, casting a spell as you go by, even if you think it's detect magic, requires the components that could be interpreted as hostile. And
this one's voice and somatic, so we're gonna kind of X.
Yeah, so I just want to warn you
the magic A.
There does seem to be an error. Who has the highest insight in my group? I need to know what your passive insights are. Who has the highest?
My insight's +6.
Okay, so you have a 16.
18.
Okay. 18. Holy fuck.
15.
18. So you have 4 plus 4. Okay, yeah, because you have a fucking level 11. All right. 18's really fucking high. All right, so recall. These guys are on edge. They are definitely on edge. Even Roderick feels that there's something a little off about them. Roderick's perspective, they look exhausted, like super tired. Like they've been riding all night, right? And a call though, you can see there's like kind of like an itch to them as you go by. Like the crossbow in one of the guy's laps, he kind of just like wrestles with it just a little bit, like he's preparing to fire if necessary, right? There's a level of mistrust between you and this group, and it's very apparent. They do not enjoy even the briefest little clip by. They are ready to throw down in the event that you guys try to fuck with them and whatever they're transporting.
What time is it?
This is early morning, 8 in the morning. So the sun is just starting to crest up, basically.
It's good to be
not a large amount of trees or forest in this area, so this is more like literally the native sun kind of clipping over the horizon, right? The mountains and the hills that far, far away, allowing sunlight to come much closer to the sun to be in the air at the time, and sunlight to be in the air in the time when the sun is actually natively rising. So as you move by, Roderick, you wanted to do that, but now you're directed. Was there anything else anyone wanted to do as these wagons go by you? And these people escorting.
I wave hello.
I would just like nod and smile. Just morning.
How fast are they moving?
At a comfortable pace, not like a gallop. It's pretty much as fast as you can make the horses move.
Wagon.
Comfortably.
Yeah.
Is there any outlines or any shapes basically you can kind of make from the outline from kind of like the wagon there?
Perception.
Barrels, right?
Perception check.
And yeah,
Perception.
I was gonna try and look the same, try to figure out what's what.
Natural 20, and that adds it up to a 26 in total.
Okay.
Yo.
Roderick, there's a name on the side of this wagon that immediately you recognize. Oh, I didn't write down this next section, did I? Motherfucker, I have to actually go dig for it. 1 second. I think it's Mayor du Monde is what I think it is.
Fucking.
But I need a double check.
Mayor du Monde.
I think it's them. Where is the name?
Let's see. Wait, I got you, man.
Yep, Mayor du Monde as the name. It's
Mayor
on the
du
wagon.
Monde?
Mayor du Monde. You recognize and you know what that means. For sure.
Roger kind of tenses.
You also, as the wagon goes by, that's on the wagon itself, Mayor du Monde, right? And so you know what that means. You also see the way that the tarp is situated. There's a little bit of a back portion when there's a lip that comes up to stop the barrels from filling out. They are barrels of something. There's a sloshing sound of liquid as it goes by. There is liquid inside those barrels. And there's a small little window between where the black planks, there's a space in between them, and they kind of clip up, and the tarp is put on top of that. So there's a small little window where you can see the barrels themselves, and they're made of wood, and you'd see in blue text kind of slanted, and half of the text is missing, but you do get it so half of it's kind of obfuscated, so it looks like it starts a little bit out of frame, but then continues to wrap around the barrel. You see the lettering P6 on that barrel as it rides by you. And this is the final wagon. The final wagon. You couldn't do it with the first one because they were too close together. But the second wagon, you saw that as they went by, and you see in there that there's text. There was text left, and then final text you saw says P6. So Mayor Dumont and P6 is on that. Also, as you're looking at the number P6, as in Papa 6, the letter P is in Papa, and 6. And you got the intonation. There was probably another character to the left of that. On top of this, as you're looking at them, one of the guards, he looks back and he sees you, and then there's like kind of like a clenched jaw for a moment, and then you guys your eyes meet, and you guys keep riding past each other. Eventually, you see him kind of ride up ahead and start talking to someone at the front of the wagons.
I'm assuming I can't read their lips.
Nope.
Okay.
Backstern to you.
He would kind of urge everybody to move a little quicker.
Why? Why are you
using his mental mind?
Okay.
So like
not like a. I don't mean like a full book it, but it's kind of like a slight bit faster.
Were those bandits? They felt like bandits to me. They wanted to shoot us.
Well,
They're not bandits.
Look at us.
Roderick, do you recognize them?
Not them, but
Are we stopping or are we still moving?
No, you're still moving.
We're moving.
Do not stop. And Roderick's issues mentally to you were, hey, let's pick up the pace if we could, which started this conversation. But you guys obliged to pick up the pace at first. But as you're doing it, you're like, why? You're not going to a full gallop. That would be maybe suspicious. But you have increased the canter of your horses to a more of a trot now, right? So, sorry.
Oh yeah. I'd feel a little more comfortable once we kind of get a little further.
They're like 100 yards away. They're like so far now. Like we don't. I can't even hear them with my good hearing now.
You can?
No.
And they continue getting further away, and you can see them. At this point, you can't see their heads. You can't see them turning, but
no one turned around to come after us or anything like that. They just kept going.
You guys.
Okay.
But Roderick is acting suspicious.
So like,
could you explain more what's going on?
What's going on, Roderick? Yeah.
This ties. I don't know why they're bringing something from possibly Westwind this way.
They're from Westwind?
Yeah, that's as far as I know. I mean, maybe they have their tendrils in some of the other Western states, but
are they?
And just be
like a mercenary band?
So like, what are they?
What is Pierre Dumont?
There's more or less an underground organization.
Nope, it's not.
No. Oh wait. See, this is why I don't have a fucking solid state, man. Fucking failed. I don't have everything. I don't have everything.
Alright, I'll just help. I'll save you.
Oh my fucking god.
Mayor Dumont.
Yes.
This is the Roger. Mayor Dumont is a shipping company that is in the logistics of transporting materials. Logistics, supply chain management, right? They move and migrate goods. Most of their stuff is coastal-wise between the Elder Isles and Westwind, but they do also have their hands going all the way down into Gaul. It's a really rich company of transportation.
And why are we worried about them?
Hey, you made it seem
I'll
like
let Roger get back up here. That should get you hope in the right spot.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Oh my god. That hurts. I've got to look at that
looked at your stuff in a long time. Yeah, it's fine.
Well, it's not even a while. Legit, my original, like, there's stuff that they had the original, kind of concept and everything like that. That was on the old hard drive that failed. So it was Solitaire that failed. So I'm kind of just yeah.
I still have it. Yeah, I never when you gave me that name, and I went, all right.
A shipping conglomerate, basically.
Yeah, so they may have ties to an underground organization that they're not necessarily the nicest of people.
Something. It was liquid,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
In the barrel, liquid. We heard.
Yeah,
But this is like hearsay. They may. I mean,
I'm saying that, but they are. I'm-
Oh.
So like
I
you
am-
have confirmation.
Yeah, they're kind of like the underground of Westwind.
So they're like ne'er-do-wells. They're like bad people, right?
Yeah.
So we should go ride them down and stop.
No.
Why not?
Roderick, I need to correct you a little bit. Just a
Help me
little
out.
bit.
Yes.
Okay.
Jeez.
So, Maire du Monde is the company that Donnell was researching into, right? This is a very influential institution because they're very rich, right? Very influential institution. They have the deep roots in Westwind. And Donnell was suspecting corruption there. And when Donnell was poking around with them, Donnell suddenly got arrested, right? And when you did your ordeal and you came back with your unique gifts to do some more digging later, you broke into one of their facilities. One of the leads of that family shipping company, right? What's his name? I kind of forget his name offhand right now. It should be there, Feldon or something like that. Feldon. But he's like the son, right? He's the heir of the family, the one that's near your age, right? Early 20s at the time, yes, him and his family are very ingrained. And while you're poking around in their home of the son in his home, you found documents linking to a different organization, the name Devolen. Devolen, I think, is the group that you're thinking of. Devolen.
Yeah,
is
I'm saying it. Yeah.
Devolen is an organization that is a crime syndicate. So,
But I'm saying that they have ties to that.
Okay,
more or less.
sure. I just wanted to make
Yeah,
sure
that's
that
what
you
I'm
were.
trying
For some
to
reason, I
allude
thought
to
you
this for that.
thought Maire du Monde was that. No, Devolen is the crime syndicate, but there was documents that were mentioning that company's name in that home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically,
Yeah.
I'm trying to get.
I took it to understand that the shipping
Basically-
conglomerate work with that crime.
Yeah,
syndicate,
basically,
right?
more so
They work with that.
they're a front for. They're possibly a front for basically that that organization.
Or
So
that
while-
organization is a customer of theirs, and they do
Either, customer
in the
or
business, but they
something.
also do that. They also do
Or that
crime
too, yes.
well
So-
when they need to.
So like, is my point still not the same? They're ne'er-do-wells. We should stop them. No.
I don't
We're-
think we want to enter Westwind with that on our.
Remember,
No,
we are
they
not.
have ties.
Wait,
They have high up ties. That's why I had to leave Westwind. Well, partially the reason why.
This does not sound like a good place. Should we like take out the high ups then?
We don't know how far it goes, unfortunately.
Goddamn. I mean, I know we're used to that, but that was a jump.
We talked about this exact thing like 3 days
Well,
ago.
I mean, yes, but this was also under the impression that like, hey, if the tree is rotting, what do? You cleanse the tree to save the forest, right? So like,
We are here to cure a disease, not to fucking uproot them.
if maybe the disease has something to do with this underground crime syndicate, then hey, is it all
If
burns?
that-
That's-
If that's
That's
the
what
case,
I was
then
thinking.
I
we'll-
mean, it's possible.
We're going to
Bridge
get
that.
arrested.
Yeah.
Look,
are they out of sight now? Are we like around a
They're
bend?
like-
Yeah, they're far enough away. They're over 1,000 feet away from you now, right? Over a fifth of a mile.
I'll look back. Are they changing? Are they like changing formations? Are they hopping off of
Perception
their
check.
with advantage? Because eyes of the eagle.
Yeah, but they're super far away now.
advantage.
Come on. All right.
Hey,
14's the highest, and I have a +4 perception.
Wait.
No, I think I have no. No, yeah, it's just +4, so that'd be 18.
Doesn't appear to be. Appears to be that it's all of them still making that direction. No change.
All right.
is that true? Is there no change, Laris?
It does not appear to be a change from Baldrick's perspective.
What about a call's perspective?
Doesn't seem to be the case.
it doesn't seem to be a case that they haven't changed position or that they have.
It doesn't seem that they've made any differences. They've continued as a group.
How many heads do I see? Is there missing one?
It's hard
Or
to tell.
two?
It's so far away.
Or 12?
It's
Oh.
1/5 of a mile. It's 1,000 feet.
Call's got pretty good sight.
Okay,
It's
anyways,
really
we're moving on past this. I know you're trying to get a roll, and the DM's going, nah, Baldric's good enough.
Alright, Thark is gonna close his eyes and manifest the knowledge to himself.
Yes!
Your head explodes.
Oh, wow.
You know that comic of the giraffe is like, I no longer vibe with this world. Its head explodes, and there's like a tiger or a lion. It's like, what the fuck? That's exactly what
Anyways.
Right. So, okay. You know, it's going to be really hard to solve problems in this place whenever I can't just, solve the problem because of politics. This is going to suck.
That's not the problem. We're
Well,
not
they-
here for them. We're here for the disease or
Well,
whatever. the
Maybe it's
thing-
related though. Think of this.
Yeah, that's what I
Roderick-
was worried about.
Roderick's gifts come from things happening in the Western states, right? That's where it comes from. The things that maybe there's more than one cult over here, not just the one that was working with Ariane, but other ones, and maybe they're part of the whole disease that's being spread around. They all could be connected, right?
Right. Maybe. So let's go run down these thieves after we have evidence.
Oh, man. Look,
Correct. We need
I
evidence.
forgot to do it. Can I have everyone please make a Constitution saving throw?
Oh, it's from the cards! Oh, yes, they're transporting the disease!
I have to.
Oh,
I- Let the DM speak.
Oh,
When you
fuckers.
woke up, this was supposed to have happened. I forgot to
I'm
look at
sorry,
my-
what are we rolling?
I need everyone to roll a Constitution saving throw, please.
Am I
Did I
awake?
mention I was sleeping in the vicinity?
Was I technically
of-
awake for this check?
No, you're
Yeah.
not. You don't get your stupid aura. No extra +5. It's just con. it's
Even
con-
if I was in my dome, I have to do this.
Yes.
Oh,
Everyone
why
must
is
make
it comfortable?
everyone must make a con saving throw. Stop negotiating. There's no point in begging.
Okay, I have a question. Does a 12 fail?
I don't have to. I'm not going to answer any of those kind of things.
Well,
I
can I use my Indomitable?
you?
that
You are free to Indomitable. It just would be spent immediately at the start of the day.
I got a
You,
whopping.
you have to gamble without knowing if that's enough or not. That's your choice.
Oh yeah, I'm gambling my ass. It's a 12. Of course I'm gonna gamble.
I got a 6.
Ah, there we go. Much better.
Natural 12 now. It's
12.
better. It's better. All right. So, was that a
Alter got
5 for box?
yeah.
Okay.
Alter.
Yeah.
Damn, we got some really
damn.
good rolls.
Now,
So
maybe there's an off chance that this really only affects beast and humans, and I'm afraid.
true.
Horses are going
And-
crazy.
I might not be
Ju-
affected by
Just-
normal disease.
Just to vet here, and you need to be honest. Were any of you using face masks throughout all the day?
No.
Of course, they're using
Face
face masks.
masks.
No,
Yeah,
I
we put
wasn't.
them on at the
Oh
start.
yeah, those.
They
face
told us
masks.
to when we entered the area. Yeah, of course I am.
It said it, but doesn't mean you have to comply to the instructions. So I just need to know.
Fuck yeah, I'm compliant.
Yes.
Okay, so
A call was probably lackadaisical. It probably was slipping down and up.
okay, so
but
then,
he was like,
then we would count it as no. Then you need to be more diligent. So it's a full application, okay? But nonetheless,
Okay, so
your
then
roll is
no.
really good. So you're
Yeah.
probably fine. But this is a question I'm going to ask you at the start of every day.
okay.
Did you wear a face mask all day, regardless if you're next to people or not? If you're wearing a mask all day, and you need to make a con saving throw. So the total here is we got all these really high rolls. Am I missing someone? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's only 6 players. Is there 7 of you guys? Who am I missing?
You're missing
Did you get Baldric? Baldric rolled a 6.
Oh, you got
You
a
didn't
6.
post
Oh, you
it.
didn't write it down. Okay, that's why. 6 total.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, sure. All right. Noted. I just need to write something down.
We're all
Now,
gonna die.
I was
Oh,
wearing my
no.
mask all day. Being a doctor, I'd be all on
Oh.
the personal protection equipment, PPI and so. Not PPI.
Okay, yeah, got it.
PPE.
Okay.
PPE.
Sure.
PPE.
PPE. Okay.
Do I get
so
advantage?
noted. There are no immediate ill effects to anyone. All right, back to the.
Don't I
back-
have to roll?
back- what was
What
it?
does
What were we
immediate
talking about? We were talking about Mayor Dumont. Sorry, I completely forgot.
Yeah.
About, and, then, and there was a choir of objection. That's I said. Oh wait, everyone was saying.
Mask.
Wearing that mask.
Okay, so yes, back to Roderick was talking about Mayor Dumont, and you guys were like, "Oh, are we gonna have to uproot the evil in the entirety of the world?" And it's like, well, is that affiliated with all the political or not? And you guys don't know. You're just currently speculating. So do you want to continue that conversation, or do you guys feel like you filled it out? I really should have waited. Okay, well, anyways, all right. So you guys, I should have waited at the end of it. I just kind of go through my bullet points and went, "Oh shit!" So I saw that I didn't hit that bullet point.
Oops.
All right, right.
We
so
don't want to do anything.
Continuing moving forward, then, as you guys theorize that, oh my god, we may or may not have to kill very powerful, influential people, or not. They're made of money. It's a shipping company. It's just shipping things. Well, how could it be? How bad could it be? Meanwhile, Baldrick's over there going, assassins, rain gods, crime syndicates. Just adding another tally to the list of things they're going to try to kill him.
We're not here to kill or murder anybody, people. We're here to try to help.
One of the thing that's causing the disease is a malignant force. Then we
it
are here
out.
to kill and murder. Well, not murder, I suppose, because that's sort of like a premeditated. We had to put a stop to it if physical fisticuffs must fly.
No one is saying that we're not going to stop it. I'm just saying that we don't go picking fights with the powers that be here until we know they're the ones propagating it.
Exactly.
Yes, and I agree with that. You know, I just.
It's going to be hard.
You weren't here at the time, Lumi, but there was a time where we had the opportunity to chase down some bandits who burned down a farmer's home, and we did not. And I do not want to have that happen again. That is all I am saying.
I could turn into like a fucking dragonfly and go fly into there and listen to them for 8 hours if you want to wait somewhere.
No, it's okay. I've just, you know, that irks me, and I never talked about it with everyone, and so, you know, this is just me saying to everyone, if we have the opportunity to stop bad things from happening prior, I would like to take the opportunity to, and not let them pass up for fear of what higher-ups may do. And he says that looking at Roderick specifically.
I hear you.
Okay. As long as we're on the same page.
I just worry that it sounds like we're not. I don't know if the Western states want us to be here. I know that people in charge and
Lumi, at the end of the day, there's only a certain number of people in power. And they're the few. But right now, obviously, it's the many that are suffering. And if we can go there and we can help the many, that's worth it.
I've just never been in jail, and I hear it's terrible.
It's not that bad.
It's still not our goal. It's still not our goal to go there.
Laris side-eyed the camera when he said it's not that bad. Laris like, you think it's not that bad?
Well, we were held in that the assembly that
You've
one
been
time.
in jail a few times, yes. Yeah.
Like for the counselor in Karat. No, we're not criminals. It's just like, you know, it's just things happening. You know,
Madan, people were suspicious.
Criminal.
They were just suspicious.
Suddenly, there's a second Baldrick in the group. Yo, these people.
it was more like, you know, a precaution, you know, for safety.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
It's don't.
Anyway,
We're here for the greater, the good for the more people than the few. So if we ruffle little feathers with the upper crust, we have our way out now, at least to an extent.
What are we going to do if it's not something you can just beat to death with your hands? Like, what if this is a product of an unclean environment, millions of rats spreading a disease or something?
Then we need to get a bunch of rat traps.
Yes, maybe you can talk to cats and have the cat army come and take care of the rats.
Oh.
Good.
I don't know.
Would the cats die then?
You know, if it is a problem we can solve, we solve it. If we cannot solve it, then we find someone who can. It is simple.
Strength.
It's at this point you guys see on the side of the road another white sign. Beware, silent plague in western states, contagious and deadly. Wear face masks. Keep at least 6 feet between you and others. Wash regularly.
Yeah.
If sick, seek help with guard or doctors. Proceed at your own risk.
I call, like, pulls back up his face mask.
I don't
Got
have
mine
one.
on.
We're going to be role
I
playing
need
COVID.
to. I need to buy one next time we're somewhere. I don't have one.
Oh, I just like, I have some spare cloth. Do you need some?
I could use it. My top is kind of tight.
Oh no, yeah. I normally don't wear clothes, so like I keep like this set
What?
like there. What? Look at me.
He's gonna give you
Hello?
a loincloth. Put this up on your front of your face.
Spare loincloth.
A spare loincloth.
Here you
It's the
go.
perfect size and shape. It's like a little scarf.
Yeah, I mean you're a small creature. And,
Oh no.
Small
Look.
creature, small package. It adds up.
and perfect. So yeah, there.
I'm not
You're
wearing a loincloth. am
It's
I?
not
This is-
loincloth.
All right. Just making sure that's not canon.
But it
I
might
just
be.
gotta make sure.
You guys have loose other articles of clothing you can make ship. I'm not gonna super stress that part.
Time to carve a mask with my woodworking
I'll
skill.
wear the loincloths.
Half a day goes by of you guys traveling this far, and in the half of the day of travel, well, not much else. Not a ton of super interesting. You see to the north, there's the Medan Mountains once again. Yeah, Lake Forest is continuing in the same direction you are. The Alabaster Highway is heading more straight west true west rather in this point in time. To the south of you is the massive roaming fields of Kirk. And Kirk is, again, the main husbandry, right? The big place of farm and animal production, specifically anything with animal products that are being made, glue, food, leathers, all that stuff. They have a large amount of livestock. It's the main thing that Kirk is specializing in. So much so, actually, that as you guys get about halfway through it, you see the landmark that some of you would be aware about, others that you have never seen it or haven't even heard of it, but there's a massive statue south of the road. Maybe it's like 200 feet south of the road, but there's a statue made of brass. Massive construct. It's got a rock foundation. It looks like there's a big rock that was probably like naturally there, and they built the statue, or they somehow hammered the statue on top of it, or somehow, in the end, got what looks like a cast iron, but clearly not based on its size. It must be components that have been bolted or somehow welded, whatever magics to use to make it become this. And the statue itself happens to be that of a massive bull, if I recall. Where are you? I lost my spot. Yes, bull statue. Massive bull.
Baphomet.
The animal of Kirk, bull. So Fairfold being the elk, Kirk is the bull. And there's a huge, this thing's probably 15-ish feet tall, right? So it's bigger than a human. How big this thing is, right? Theoretically, you could jump off your horse and run up and climb on top of it, but there's no kids or people pilgrimaging in front of it. It's just this landmark that exists there. It's basically proudly saying the land of the bull is south, this direction, right? Meanwhile, Niscaria has no such landmark showcasing its territory or picking a claim like that, but the people of Kirk apparently wanted to put the statue here on the highway for everyone to see. But halfway of your journey via horse between you and Niscaria, towards Niscaria itself, is the statue right here showing the land of the south, Kirk. And as you've been traveling, you've been seeing Kirk in its relative splendor. There are hills, there are tree groves, there are sections of creeks and waterbeds, and the main thing you would be seeing is large amounts of farmsteads, but not so much in the product of producing crops, but rather animals. We're talking those massive cow farms and pig farms, right? There's just huge amounts of livestock. There are large amounts of sheep and things. There's a large amount of animal products, right? And there needs to be a large amount of animals here. And that's the main thing that Kirk focused on. So you're seeing dozens of these along the hills. And this is all south, not to the north. So north is mostly empty. It's just the lake, and then there's maybe a couple of houses skirted around at random points, but mostly empty. But south, there's
where are we on the map here? Because it looks like Kirk is far to the left of Niscaria.
Sorry, so yeah, you are currently past Fairfield. So you are technically like on this road here, And what I mean by the road jumps up left, unfortunately the resolution's really bad. This is what I meant. That right there would be the lip. So you're about halfway on this day.
So, like, Kirk stretches all the way like to here, and
oh yeah,
Fairfield...
So Fairfield and Fairfield's territory comes up to like right here and comes down.
Okay.
Yeah, and then remember, Fairfield is like all of this.
Yeah, Fairfield is this kind of lawn. I mean, can I just do a crappy? Let's try this. All right, so Fairfield is. Oh, that's not gonna work apparently.
Yeah, but yeah, it's like wide
Needs
this
to be
way.
More opacity apparently.
Wider than.
What? There we go. So yeah, Fairfield like comes up to here basically. That's Fairfield basically. I know it's now starting to delete the map, and then
Garrington South.
Kirk's like up to here. This is Kirk's region, and then I don't know. We'll make Winston is this kind of like purple region. Teal for Ferdin kind of comes along the coast up to there. Niscaria gets this little blip right there, and then Garrington would be. I guess Garrington normally is green. I guess we'll make it orange. I guess. Whoop, that's pure orange. Whatever, it's fine. We'll delete this in the end. But Garrington comes out like to here. It doesn't go that far to Ellensburg. But yeah, that's
Westwind owns the
That's
sea.
not a highlighter.
But so yeah, that's and then obviously Westwind is the most smallest region. Westwind because it's how influential, as Niera told you, how influential it is with the Elder Isles, like that political position. It's intentionally kept the smallest amount of land to keep its power in check, because there was a fear that Westwind would be so powerful that they would start breeding ideas of revolution and maybe even break the Court of Banners. So when it was made, it was like, you get this little fucking bay, that's it, that's all you got, right? So hopefully that helps give you an idea.
So I was just wondering on the map if we like jumped ahead or something.
No, what I meant is halfway through the day before you got to, because basically at the end of the day you'll be in front of Niscaria, the road that leads up to the bridge to that point. So, and that you're like halfway through to there. Sorry, I didn't like. That's what I meant to be saying by that. So you're close. You're getting close. In half a day you'll be in front of Niscaria.
And just about the livestock, do they look healthy?
Yeah. Oh, it looks like they're excellent. They look like they're excellently taken care of. There might be some questionable, like there might be too many animals at some point. Maybe a little crowded in a couple of the farms, but the animals still look like they're really high grade.
Beasts are immune to the plagues. This is an extinction event for you mortals.
And so one of the things here is that Kirk, sort of the population on New also is nowhere near as dense as it is on United States or Earth, right? So the amount of food that's necessary is not like a massive cow mill, right? There's a plethora, significantly more livestock present as you're seeing through the hills here at this place, and a couple of them might be a little cramped, tight, but most of them are widespread. The reason why Kirk's animal products are the best is because they have the highest quality animals. They take the best care of them and have some kind of regimen that they take, either it's the food they feed or like the process they go through, but they breed the best animals, and that produces the best quality products, which they then also convert into those products through whatever methods like butters and stuff like that, right? Fairfield came in and said, hey, we care, we're the cavalrists, we're making horses of it, and they knew how to make horses be the best they could be, and that's why they're now the equestrians. On top of other mounts, the exotic mounts too, that are less known. So, okay. So, yeah, you pass by the bull statue, an interesting landmark nonetheless. It's a very bold statement to be there. Kind of seems to maybe suggest their ideology a little bit, the culture of Kirk.
Bullish.
Well then, so as you guys continue forward for the half of the day, with the remaining half of the day, you are getting near sunset again. It's not quite sunset, but you see the blip on the lake edge of the three-dimensional formation that would be Niscaria, the second biggest city, population-wise, in the Kingdom of Windheim. Niscaria is shaped kinda like from an eagle's eye view looking down. It is squarish shaped. Give a rough, crappy drawing here in the middle of the table. So it's kind of like this. Look, like this. And so there's a main city here, and there's a port that comes up the front, and the port has these like piers that come out, and they're very long piers, and there's infrastructure on them. And then the road that you guys are going to be taking that goes straight north will be this road here. That will go across a bridge, and then actually no, there isn't. Doesn't want to press a bridge. It just is a road that goes right up to Niskaria's lower section. And I think Niskaria is broken into. Isn't it broken into like 3 main areas? They're kind of like this. I think. I think. Anyway, so from a distance, the dimension of it kind of looks like a paw of an animal, just a little bit. Yeah, there's kind of like these digits. Yeah, if you want to call it a broom, I'm not the intent, but yes. And so you see this, and there's a massive wall around it, 50 or so feet tall. You can see the docks that kind of stretch out into the lake, right? You see these massive warehouses that are like on the piers themselves. There appear to be some boats stationed there. It's a pretty sight. It's one of those like, early civilization things, right? You don't really get a lot of the interior of Niskaria, unfortunately, because the interior of it is kind of congealed, blockaded in because of the walls. So it's kind of obfuscating itself a bit from you. But you do see that near the very middle, I kind of got my art a little wrong. I haven't looked at it in a long time. It's close, though. It's close. In the very middle, though, there is a very tall cylinder shape. And what I mean by very middle is I'm talking about right, I'll fix it. Well, no, that's not the eraser. All right, so you would see this kind of. Let me double check. Where get Photoshop? Okay, so yeah, kind of like. Well, that was a terrible hexagon, whatever. And there's like a wall that comes out here, and there's a wall that comes out there. Okay, so right here in the very middle, there's a cylinder of a wall in the very middle, and there's these walls that come from the outer wall into the inner walls that connect there. And this place right here seems to be the center point, because it looks like there's a castle-esque like structure in the very middle of the city there. So that's probably the heart. Castle's here. And then, district, port. That's what you would imagine it to be. Okay. As you see that, and for the first time for most of you, whatever awe or inspiration that seems to derive to, you see like there's seagulls kind of flying around overhead, and you continue moving forward as the sun starts moving closer and closer, and those orange hues start crossing against the sky. And you see the road that finally goes perpendicular to the very west you're going, that heads north. This is the road that would let you get into Niskaria. It would be a perfect time to stop in Niskaria at night if you wanted to go into Niskaria. But the question is do you guys want to go into Niskaria tonight?
Ooh. I think we were to avoid main stops and just try to move through the territory to get to the western states is what Niara was recommending. Because the lords and ladies of each area have their own sort of agendas, and they might want to apprehend you for questioning or make you join some sort of gala ball because you're from the high life over in Westwood, and they would do them the honor of you being there. Whatever it is, I don't really see much advantage unless there's something we need in the area.
I think it'd be safer health-wise too to avoid large, crowded areas.
Yes, that's social distancing. Yes.
I mean, it would be a good way to gain more information, though, and maybe someone in Niskaria. This is like this is the final stop before we hit Westwind, right?
Right, and I'm not opposed to maybe visiting, but I think if we're gonna stay for the night, we should stay outside of town.
I mean, yes.
Perhaps.
Or on the roof. I've done that many a time.
You are a cat, though.
Well, what does that have to do with anything? I mean, you're more than capable of sleeping on a roof.
Your powers of observation have plummeted quite a bit if you think me on a hard roof for sleeping.
It might be good for your back.
I'm the doctor here, not you.
Okay, I mean, I'll keep my observations to myself then, I guess.
Yes, please do. To yourself. About my sleeping arrangements.
Alright, okay. Well, whatever the party wishes to do then. I was just giving my 2 cents.
So as you guys near that junction to turn right to go to Niskaria, it's not too much further down the road. You can actually see the front of the gates from the road you are. The road's really close to Niscaria's longitude? Yeah, longitude, I think, or latitude. Either way, whatever, the line up, you're near the same, you're near the entrance. And so you're within, 100 yards or so from the gate. But you guys also see that there is a large conglomeration of people in front of the gate. There's a mass of people in front. And much like the checkpoints you saw earlier, there appears to be another checkpoint here on trying to get into Niscaria.
Yeah.
The entrances to the city is flooded with a large crowd of people. There are numerous wagons and several long lines. There are large amounts of people, most in these lines, but there's also a blob of people who seem to be shouting at the numerous guards blocking the road. Let us in! It's not safe out here! Ma'am, please, we have to ensure the safety of those. What about my safety? My family! We've been traveling for days, they're all so tired. I don't have enough food. Please, I'm so hungry. My child, she needs water. Anyone, please. Meddlers, mercy, you bastards are killing us! As this crowd of people are shouting at these soldiers. You see a variety of different soldiers' presence. People's Band is here, but in very small numbers. The majority of the soldiers present seem to be having a red trim under their clothing, either a chainmail, depending on whatever rank they are within the Scarlet Pride Knights. There's the upper echelons are going to be wearing plate, and the lower echelons are going to be in chainmail or down to chain shirts, depending on the other kind of quality of soldier they happen to be. But there's a large amount of them presence trying to keep order in the front of the city. And most of the people are orderly moving through the checkpoints, getting, just like you guys had much earlier in the day, trying to get processed through what these Wormsworth Association people waiting and processing people through. Most don't have wagons. There are some that are wagons, but it's a slow process. And even with multiple queues lines, it's taking a long time. They have it so like TSA, where there's these barricades in the road that force people into these little labyrinth maze routes, rat races, to separate them and to get them so that there's less likelihood that there would be some kind of major debacle, right? As you are near this barricade, you see exhausted faces on not just the citizens, but even the guards. They're just worn down to the bone. A level of anxiety can be sensed with the glances from each person to another person. Some parents are keeping their children tuckered close, while others are acting as vanguards, deterring the proximity of other people near their families. The majority of people are wearing face coverings. Some aren't, but most are. You can see the deeper in the barricades, there's also an area appeared to be reserved for Wormsworth associates and guards themselves. And even over there appears to be a man who has his helmet off, and he's got his hands kind of cupped down in his head, seemingly cracking under all the stress. And there seems to be another soldier talking to him, trying to console this person under this excessive duress that all these people are having to endure. While you're here, in front of the lines, right, of the people where they're like past you, there's these two kind of forward scouts down the road that are significantly closer to all of you. You see two soldiers, one wearing blue bandanas, both wearing blue bandanas over their mouths. One is a half-elven man with long beard that comes past his bandana and comes to a very sharp point. He's wearing chainmail, and there are splashes of blue amongst the color palette of the clothes beneath it. He's got a heavy crossbow out, but he's casually holding it near his waist. You see two blue band straps over his left bicep. So this must be a higher ranked People's Band member, since he happens to have the two bands, right? So he's either in charge of a group or maybe in charge of every People's Band present here. But he seems to be next to another person. The second person is a woman, human, with long brown hair that she has kind of kept together with a red ribbon that's holding together a braided crown that kind of comes around the back and the sides, right? So it's kind of framing the back, and there's a red ribbon on the back of it that's holding that braid together. She's wearing plate armor, and she has hues of red and white trim amongst her clothing. A long sword is currently resting off a sheath off her hip, and she is currently gesturing to the man that they're talking, and she sees your group and her eyes kind of flip towards you. And at that point, she then kind of chimes out to all of you. Winged winds, friends. If you're interested in entering Niscaria, you'll have to clear the checkpoint. As you can see, there's a lot of people trying to enter the city now. Processing is slow and will take time. If your business is elsewhere, it is encouraged that you try and spend the night off the road instead.
Thank you.
She nods toward you, and do you guys decide to move up into the queue, or do you want to skip past this?
I think I have a plan to get the queue down.
Okay.
I could create a bunch of food and water and offer to those who are hungry. It would get us faster, and it would feed them.
I mean, we can still do that, but that doesn't mean we need to
Right.
stay in the city. I mean, if we can help them, then yeah, we should.
I like-
if we're
I
gonna
like-
be resting.
I like the idea of helping the people there, and then, if we need to keep going, I guess. They recommend that we don't stay into the city if we don't have to, and
Yeah.
our path does not lead necessarily to Nescaria, so...
Fair enough. Well, I was gonna help them regardless, but...
Maybe do it in a way that won't cause, mass hysteria, there's suddenly a bunch of food and water, maybe, tell one of the guards here, and then, they can help disperse it, smartly.
The woman's looking at all of you, and she clearly sees all this conversation happening.
Mm-hmm.
If you have means
Do
to
you
help
have any
provide
ideas?
supplies, we do have enough supplies for the people. They're just very eager, and they're looking for any means to get into the city. So while such charity is appreciated, it is not necessary.
Are you sure? It costs me nothing but a bit of magic.
We have some arcanists that can do similar.
Fair enough.
Oh,
Not that
never
I'm
mind
trying to
then.
deny your charity, it's just that, as you projected, it could cause a large amount of chaos, and as things are, we're on a teetering point as is.
Do you know if people of holy nature have been able to cleanse the disease here?
I don't know much about it, so I wish I could give you more information.
I noticed that is a common trend. Does anyone know anything about the disease?
The Wormsworth Associates would be the ones you would want to talk to. And she kind of gestures her hand, she points towards the white tent area that you kind of saw previously. It's the same kind of white tents, these kind of industry standard white tents. They're for the Wormsworth Associates. And it points off in that direction. You guys your eyes follow after her, and you see a debacle informing. There's suddenly a large commotion as you hear shouting and a scream. Heads from numerous people suddenly turn towards the right in the same direction she's pointing. Not towards the tents themselves, but in the line that leads to that direction. And up at the front of that line nonetheless. No, you're wrong! I'm not sick! I'm not sick! Please, keep your voice down. You liars! You're all keeping us out here while you hide yourselves in your walls! Sir, you need to calm down. You're only gonna making others... Well, I don't need you or your godly bullshit. You and the rest of you can all rot in the hells. He starts to grab his belines, and you notice there's a large breadth of space between him and suddenly any of the other citizens that were close by, suddenly with the commotion. I'm afraid that's no longer an option. What? No, get your hands off me! I'm clearly not wanted here, so I'm leaving! No, you're infected. We have to take you. No, you're wrong. You're lying. I'm not infected. No, I don't want to go. You're not taking me. You're not going to be dragging me out there. He suddenly looks as there's several guards starting to circle around him. Their hands are on their weapons, but not actually unsheathed in that. You can't do this! You're tyrants! Run before they send you off to your graves! And he immediately starts to sprint, but one of them grabs onto this person. There's a wrestling. Some sort of, not combat, but a struggle ensues. A guard, as they grab the man, he struggles, but somehow manages to slip free, and he darts into the crowd, and suddenly panic breaks out as people start screaming and separating like an ocean of fish evading a shark. As there's eruption of noise and panic, people, because of this chaos, the crowd actually acts as the service to the guards, because as they part away from him, they're blocking the guards to get to the guy, and he begins to sprint.
How close are we to this?
What was that?
How close are we?
This is about 90 feet away from you right now. No, sorry. I said 100 yards, so it would be 300 feet away from you. We can move a little closer, 280. It's kind of where it happens to be. But he's kind of running, like, adjacent away, so he's getting closer-ish, right? But not within 150 feet yet. So the pursuing people are blocked by the crowd as there's all this chaos suddenly breaking out. And the man then manages to vault over one of the hurdles and lands vaults over one of the obstacles and lands into the grass fields as he starts to sprint off towards the darkness, away from everything. So at that point, I lost my spot. It's here you start hearing high-pitched whistles being blown at numerous points across the front barricade. Well, can't do it on demand apparently. I could do it in my practices, but damn it! High-pitched whistles are heard from numerous areas as suddenly guards from all over, including the two present near you, suddenly gain interest and look towards this person. And the woman starts making her way towards there, but the man that she's with, the crossbow that he had out, he kind of sprints forward a bit before he then takes to his knee and aims the crossbow at this guy fleeing into the darkness. "Don't make me, please. Please don't make me," he's muttering to himself. You can hear him exasperated, begging this man to stop before he has to do what he must. You hear from us, "Help, please, someone! They're gonna kill me!" And it goes right back to that half elf who's got the crossbow aimed and he's about to take a shot.
Can we, I guess my question is, can we even cast anything without, like, drawing suspicion on ourselves?
You're sure allowed to try.
How close am I to that
cold
person
monster
about to
work
take a
on-
shot?
At this point, he's about...
Is anyone within 200 feet of this guy? Because there's not a lot of spells that have that range.
You guys are now about 200 feet, but you can also dart over there and try to...
I got vortex.
But would
right?
hold monster even work on a humanoid? That's
It
my
would work on
question,
any
I guess.
creature.
I'm gonna throw up the guy's shot.
Then I would try to hold monster on him, I guess.
Are you within the range? He's 200 feet
I
away.
need to be within
Yeah,
90
distance
feet, but I can distance spell it, yeah. So I can
then
double my cast.
180. You gotta get closer. So you gotta run.
I'll get close
Alright, so
enough.
you sprint into action, and Evelyn, as she does it, she starts weaving the meta magic to flip the whole person onto that target. And as you do, you dart by the half elf who's aiming down the sights.
I know.
And he says, "God damn it!" as he begins to pull the trigger, and you hear the crossbow, the action, and it fires off into the darkness. And suddenly there's a as you see the woman dart in front and cut the bolt mid-air before it impacts the person. And Evelyn, you're now within 180 feet, and you can start weaving the spell if you'd like.
Yep, I will.
Okay, so you can cast the spell. He will make his save. But as it's happening, the woman, she looks over her shoulder, not towards you, but towards two other people, and you hear her yell out, "Andrew! Thomas!" And at this point, there's two men who are already on mounts, and they start galloping towards the destination, towards that individual who was fleeing, right? Alright, his saving throw. Wow, that's not enough. He walks up in place and just freezes there, 180 feet away from you. No way a citizen's gonna beat the fucking daughter of an archfey, I'll tell you that. So as he walks up...
I have him held!
The two riders
I'll just
catch
chill out.
up to him very quickly. One of them kind of rides past him, slides, does that. What do you want? Gran Turismo T kind of. What do you?
Drift?
Drift, yeah, drift. That's the word. Drift. Deja vu. No. So
He's
anyways,
drifting
the
a horse.
comes up
He's
front.
drifting a
And the
horse.
other guy from behind, he whips and he throws a net on top of the individual. As the net lands on top of him, and then him and the other knight kind of like jump off, and they start trying to tussle this person up, right? As other guards catch in on it. Eventually, Evelyn, your spell does break, right? Because it only lasts up to a minute, but they start to
It's an hour.
restrain.
Concentration for an hour. That's what it tells me here.
Hold monsters an hour?
That's what it says.
Holy fuck! All right,
I could have it wrong on my sheet, though.
No,
I'll
concentration a minute. It's a minute.
Okay, then a minute.
All right, so yeah, in a minute, eventually he'll be free, and when he does get free, and he starts trying to resist again. But by now, he's got a large amount of like rope or manacles kind of on him, and there's just too many people to. But there it definitely is a weird predicament because they're trying to like keep themselves as much distance away, but still trying to restrain him, right? And he's yelling, "No, get off me, please! Help! I'm not sick! No, you're not taking me there! No, they'll do it to you next! You're all blind! It's me now, but it soon will be you! Don't let them take me! I don't want to go! I don't want to go to the farm! No!
Far.
and they're dragging him towards a series of wagons. And it's like adjacent to the barricade. And as they get there, you guys are kind of like paying attention to this. They open up one of the wagons and they kind of drag him up into the wagon. It's dark enough. It's difficult. You can make a perception check, I guess.
I'm imagining like the Beauty and the Beast scene where they're dragging the dad off into the cart in the nighttime. With all the
I'm
people
assuming
looking.
it would just be Baldric, yeah?
I saw the goggles from you,
Beauty
so I
and
assumed
the
it was you,
Beast.
actually.
Oh.
16 plus
Well, he's already
9.
rolled, so.
You can roll too.
I don't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Go ahead, guys. I believe in you.
20.
Ooh.
20.
And then an 18.
Okay. 20 the higher one, which is enough. There are a couple other
He's
people.
gotta go, he says.
There are a couple
Gotta
other... What?
Roderick says he's gotta go.
Okay. Yeah, I was good. All right, so...
Night.
You see there's a couple other people in that wagon. They're also restrained in the wagon.
Well, I meant, is that wagon the same as like the wagon that we went by?
You can't
earlier?
tell that, unfortunately. The angle's not quite right. And as the guy's kind of dragged into there, they kind of like throw this curtain back over it so you don't see the interior of what's happening inside that wagon. And at this point, the woman looks back at all of you that had deflected that arrow mid-shot. She was like only 10 feet in front of that guy, but managed to do that. So she must be pretty skilled. She kind of approaches back to all of you. Thanks for your help. You probably should get out of here before there's more issues, though.
Thank you, yeah.
Um,
I'll go back to my group now.
what does he mean by the farm?
There's a couple camps that have been built by the Wormsworth Association, and anyone that's been detected to be sick is taken to those camps. Some people are paranoid that that's areas where we are keeping them to kill them. In reality, that's where we're getting them the medical help, but away from others. It's a quarantine camp. There's one to the south. There's in the Kirk's region. There's one near Westwind, north of it. There is another one north near the river, and then between Niskaria and Furden, and finally there's one in Furden's region. That's the 4 camps right now. Well, I appreciate your work, but thank you. That could have got a little bad if he actually did get away, or if we had to do. And her eyes kind of glance towards the half-elf, who is kind of like his hand shaking a little bit, and he's kind of like trying to like the trigger hand, right? He's trying to like calm it down.
Or we can demark that out.
No, you saved a life. Thank you.
I just nod.
So you guys back up away from the gates in the Scaria, where there's still a large crowd of people. It does sound like there's still a commotion. There seems to be a large amount of people still very concerned about a sick person being present. And some people are kind of just like bunkering down, going, this is what it is, right? Like you can see these defeated faces on everyone, right? It's not looking good. And as you guys kind of back away from that and get back on the road to maybe head a little bit more west before you're going to bunker down for the evening. That's where we're going to end tonight's episode. Well, thank you all for playing. Thank you for participating. And check out Primerus Paradox for tomorrow. And then remember, we're not playing Arkelya next Friday, but we will be playing the one after that. So happy Friday the 13th and Halloween, or October this year for everyone. And we'll see you the
October.
Everybody.
All right. And remember, don't trust the Dungeon Master. Good.
Never. Never, ever, ever.
Yeehaw.
Goodbye.